Okay, we should be live in about 10 seconds. So if you guys could look, you may have to refresh your YouTube. That way you see the live and just click on the live, hit the like button. Okay, we should be live. Okay, we are live, guys. Okay, I got to keep a lookout to see who's coming in. So just let someone else in just now. All right, I'm going to have to go back and forth just to make sure I'm paying attention to that. All right, make sure my video. Can everyone see me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I can see you.
Yes. Yeah, we can see you.
And you are wearing a hat.
Yeah, unfortunately, I need a haircut. So I got to keep the hat on. All right, well, I'm going to start with introduction of myself. I am Savon Smith, founder of Savon's Academy Stars basketball program, also known as the Royal Palm Beach Stars out of West Palm Beach. And founding players came to be because of 6 players that I started the Savon's Academy Stars basketball program with. And I wanted to thank those guys for giving the opportunity to build a basketball program. But rather than the players just counting on making it to the NBA, I wanted to teach financial literacy. So this program is called Founding Players. It's another nonprofit organization because we wanted to bring people together, which is why we're here, to come together to serve our community as well as whoever we can reach in this world. So we have been doing a lot of research on stocks. So we have a group of people here that we're sharing our knowledge, but we're not financial advisor. We're just sharing because we care about the community and we care about people knowing what's going on in the world today. So all of us are coming together to share with you. You can do your own research and invest at your own risk. Alan?
Yes, sir.
Introduction, and Pierre and Anna.
Yeah, my name's Alan. Been in the stock market off and on for the past, I would say, 12, 13 years, but I'm actually taking it seriously now since I met Savon. I'm a licensed realtor, so I'm also in the housing market investor. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, and Anna R. Pierre.
Hi, my name is Pierre Abraham. I am been working for FedEx for 13 years, FedEx courier. So I consider myself now courier/investor. So I've been enjoying this group now, which is great. So we can share information and then be financially secure and let's get it.
Appreciate you. Anna?
Hello, good evening. My name is Anna Murdoch, and I'm a medical biller. I've been a medical biller for the past 7 years, and I just started with the Founding Players just to get to know about finances, and so far it's been very informative, and I'm continuing to listen and learn as we go along.
Okay, so we'll just open it up to whoever is on wants to step up and introduce themselves. We'll leave Hector to introduce himself after. Go ahead. Anyone want to step up and introduce? We got some new people on. If you don't mind, let us know who you are, if you're okay with that. If I don't hear anybody speaking within the next 10 seconds, I'll ask Hector to introduce himself. Hector, it's on you.
That was like 6 seconds, but it's all right. So my name is Hector Hernandez. I've been in the tech industry since 1999. You may hear me say this more than once. I'm a little bitter. I missed the Bitcoin craze in the beginning, and I guess I've woken up from my 20-year hiatus / coma. I've been investing in crypto for the last year. April to April makes a year. My portfolio has done, some good things, and I haven't really been swing trading or following, roller coasters or any FOMO. I met Savant through a mutual friend, and he's, asked me to jump on, and I really love sharing knowledge. Like Savant, I've also been in sports and as a coach in martial arts. So giving is what I know best, motivating, and if I have information to give, let's get it. I think PR Abraham said something about being financially secure. That's the goal here. That's really the goal to retire in style. Maybe I'll move in next door to Savant, and PR Abraham can help me out with a good realtor. Connecting dots again. So I'm here to give and listen. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. All right. So before we go any further, I want to read this disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for entertainment purpose only. This video is not financial advice. You can lose money investing into the stock market. You are liable for any losses that you incur from investing into the stock market. I shall not be held liable for any losses you may incur while investing or trading on the stock market. Contact your licensed professional in your area for professional advice. Now, with that being said, I'm going to open up tonight with Alan. Alan, if you could share with us how your week's been. The floor is yours. We want to hear from you first.
My week's been pretty good. Being the fact that I was in Dogecoin, obviously. I seen a lot of red except for Dogecoin and any plays connected to Dogecoin. Basically, I'm in that play that Savant suggested to me a while ago, KNOS, which is a company that strongly supports Dogecoin. And one of the first companies that I know of that accepts Dogecoins as payment for their products. And they also mine Dogecoin. So I loaded up on that one, KNOS, and also BBKCF. I know Savon talked about it many times. I missed last show because me and my wife had a gender reveal. But BBKCF, I did more research like Brother Savon suggested, and that stock is going to be big. They're in Canada right now. They're trying to get to the US. I would just say, for our listeners, definitely look at BBKCF. And I see why Savon kept pushing that stock or mentioning that stock to me, because I didn't do enough research in it until about this weekend. And I'm blown away as to what this company is going to bring to the crypto space. One thing I did do, and I mentioned it to Savon, everyone got a little bit different style, but I took some losses to get into better plays. So if I got into some plays that say weren't performing, or say these stocks weren't meeting up to my expectations, I sold some of those plays at a loss. And then I put some of the money from those plays into Dogecoin. So I increased my position in Dogecoin. So right now I actually have 21,394 Dogecoin. But that's just a recap of my week.
And put in there that you're in competition with Savon.
Yeah. Basically, every time Savon said, yeah, I got X amount of Dogecoin, I'm like, okay, I got to catch up.
That's the nemesis right there.
What was that?
What was that?
So I said that's your nemesis. That's your coin nemesis. It's like, he's trying to grab all up on a Dogecoin.
Hey, it's good. It's good competition. I mean, when I woke up on Friday morning, I can't remember what time, but Dogecoin hit 48 cents, and I literally looked at my account, and I was up $6,000. So that was a good feeling. It's a good feeling when a lot of people got half their portfolios red, and just one stock you're up, or one coin in this case, you're up $6,000. And that's before I got the 21,000 coins. So yeah, man, I thank you, Savon. I don't think I give you enough credit. You always give me credit, man, but I got to give you credit, man. Savon always, is on point. Don't always follow just what the analysts say, especially they've been knocking Dogecoin for a while. And Hector, I got to give you props too. I missed the last show, but I went back and listened to the playback. That was fire, man. That was some good information, bro. I'm happy you're here.
I appreciate it. I know it was a lot of content, and I actually have to go back to some of it. And everybody that I've been talking to, and I put a lot of stuff on my stories on IG, and I tell the link is up. So, every time we're talking about this, I say, look, I did something for a nonprofit. Check it out. It's on my IG link. Go click on it. It's 3 hours, but you can click around. And if you want to ask me any questions, but I recommend that you try to pace yourself and then watch it and listen. I appreciate it. There's a lot of information I accumulated in a year's time. I'm still learning. And I want to, continue learning and giving. By the way, any stock that we're talking about, if we can dump it in the chat, so we can go reference it later, because I'm driving, but I like to do my own research as well. And then, counter with, like you mentioned about your position. I'll talk about mine later, but you mentioned about your position, and it's really, really important, just to give you a quick flowers, that we talk about that, because I took some hits. And Savon knows it, and I was just like angry at the world Friday, and he gave me the coach talk, like, it's all good, go in the second quarter, like, but it was I took a licking, so I'll talk more about that later.
All right, definitely.
Pierre, you got anything for us?
Well, I mean, like you guys, the week was everything was red in the stock market. The only thing that was popping was Dogecoin. That was my only great thing for the week. Luckily I kind of started a little early too, but I know I'm not in your limit with the 20,000 coin. I'm still rolling. But the Friday was a good day for Dogecoin, and for all my stocks, everything was red. So that was basically the week.
Okay. I want to, before we get to you, Anna, and ask you any questions, I want to just touch on the fact that it's funny that we're sitting here talking about Dogecoin. And there's a lot of skeptics, when it comes to Dogecoin. And a lot of times I feel like you should always buy what people don't like. And that what you should do is do your research. Because if someone is talking negative about anything in life, you should actually pay attention to that very thing that they're talking negatively about. And I'm a firm believer in that, because you don't want to miss the opportunity just because you're listening to an analyst tell you exactly what to do. I can equal it to this. A lot of us have children, and a lot of times we're telling our children what to do, and it's hard. They don't even listen to us. So maybe kids got something. It's like we can listen, but we have to evaluate. We have to use our brain. Not so much what our mind is telling us to do, but use our brain. Because I feel like that if we're going to invest, we have to know exactly what we're investing in. I always say, if you go to a supermarket, you're going every week for things that you actually need. We're going for the things that you actually need. So if you're going for milk, water, sugar, you should be actually investing in those things that's necessity. I use the vaccine, for example. We need vaccines. We are running around with masks right now, so there's a demand to get back to some normalcy. So vaccines are are of importance, you know, and we need to do our research to see which vaccines are the better ones. You know, I'm a Moderna fan, and I've been a Moderna fan because they came with the new technology, and I believe in that company. You know, and they had a lot of doubters. And sometimes when people are doubting things, I believe that's what you should be paying attention to. So it's equal to Dogecoin. You know, so it's actually mimicking the dollar, So I mean, Hector, you have anything to say really about Dogecoin? Because it's basically mimicking the dollar, man.
Yeah, I believe right now it's driven by FOMO, and a lot of the analysts are going to continue that path. That it's going to be a roller coaster for a little bit. People are going to take profits. They're going to move money. You know, not to really dive in too much on the week, but everybody was down 5, 10, 17. I was up to 17%, I think, 14% between XRP, XLM. Very little vet that I have. I gotta even check if I even have any. But I was down on everything but Doge. So the FOMO is gonna drive it. Every time you hear a celebrity talk about it, it's gonna drive it up. The question is, and you answered partially on it, who's gonna start using it, and who's gonna start building those new memes of ha ha ha, you guys are laughing now. It's remarkable that it was almost hit 50 cents. Going back to, I think Alan mentioned at 48, I was watching it at 48. And again, we'll talk a little bit later about my week and my losses, but you do have to do your own research. You have to find out who's using it and why. I just heard today Harley Davidson in some real rural non-technology town upstate is taking Bitcoin. You know, so is it a normal thing now for people to make payments in Bitcoin? Not for many people. We know it happens, but is it happening in new places? Is Dogecoin being accepted in places where are influential? You know, so let's say Silicon Valley or kiosks or ATM conversion machine ATMs being placed in certain places. Who's building them? Why? Where? How fast are they being built? Are people really joking around? You know, Bitcoin was a joke. You know, I don't personally see Dogecoin taking on. You got to look at the market caps. You know, the market caps are going to say a lot. The market caps are rising really, really quickly. And Savon and I, and you know, it's been in a group. We've talked about XRP. Do your own research. If people don't like XRP, it's a threat. Dogecoin is a threat right now. I don't think it's a threat to the dollar, but it's a threat to smaller players because people are buying. The market caps are going up, and you see the amount of trading that's happening on a daily basis. You got 15-20% of the entire market cap being traded on a daily basis. So that roller coaster is being written. If I don't ride that coaster, that's okay, but people are riding it. It's going up and down. We saw that 48 cents in a very short period of time. I don't have the stomach for it personally. You know, I don't have 20,000 coins. I have very little, but the idea is I will get more because if I'm able to 5x what I put in, I'm comfortable with that. That's just a, you know, I talk about real estate. Like I really want my next step in all of this is my 3 to 4 year plan to be able to say, look, I put a fat down payment that I bought, you know, from coins on an apartment in Myrtle Beach. You know, I want that to be a real statement at one point. And you know, Dogecoin can probably do that. It could 3x, it could 4x. You know, aside from other coins, I really think that's one of the ones that it's going to push us into believe like anything's possible. And I'm willing to roll the dice on a you know, couple of $1,000 to see it grow. I'm totally with that.
Okay. Do me a favor, Hector, and explain blockchain technology.
Sure thing. So, I'll use a couple of examples. Bitcoin does not have any real utilitarian function when it comes to blockchain. Like nobody's really using Bitcoin as blockchain. And before I explain blockchain, like we all know Bitcoin was that's the grandfather clock of it all. It's super slow. I've done tests on Garter Wallet. It's very, very slow. So when we talk about blockchain, it's really important to emphasize smart contracts and things like Ethereum, or not things, coins like Ethereum, coins like Engine, coins like Cardano, coins like XRP, XLM, because they're really utilizing blockchain. So blockchain technology can create markers. Let's call it a brick. I'm just going through a tunnel right now, so I'll use a brick analogy. Or let's use sports, right? We have a hardwood floor, and that hardwood floor, it has a bunch of panels on it. Once you lay that panel down and Coach Savant puts his name on it, you cannot change it. I don't care what you do to that building, that block or that panel has his name on it, it's not going away. Now, this is super ultra important because it creates a marker in time, and it also allows for other technology to ride on it. And that's when we get like smart contracts, XLM, and all of that. So that technology alone is it's a hash. So it's basically built. I think the terminology is a hash. It's built into the tech, and you can actually research if it worked. So if you go to last week we logged in and Ed corrected me on where it is because I haven't seen it in a while. But you can go to blockchain.org or .com, and you can go to the Explorer page and you can see the movement. So sometimes people see they can identify a particular wallet by the address or partial address and see that a whale, as they call big movements, has just moved in a very old block of Bitcoin, or an old block of XRP, or a new block of, well, Dog Chain is really not that old, an old block of any coin. So again, the technology of blockchain is really to solidify something and almost capsulate it. You cannot change it. And as technology grows, I'll give you an example of one of the ones that I'm gonna really go aggressive on. VET, VChain is the company, VET is the technology. So VET is using blockchain technology to basically encapsulate the supply chain of any item that's produced. It can do it. So like an apple from the orchard all the way down the supply line of retail, wholesale, distribution, to the time that you bite it and you eat it and it dies. So they'll scan it into the system, and through blockchain, you have an address, a marker that you can follow this apple or this merchandise across the entire life cycle of it. And this is really important, shameless plug on VET, right? I'm throwing, that's my favorite, my go-to right now. That they'll be using blockchain technology in the supply chain, really to combat like piracy. Not only that, but like Walmart's has thousands and millions of transactions. They're going to be able to track all of that from the beginning of the product all the way to the end of the product. And the real idea with blockchain is it cannot be changed. And going back to I talk about XRP and XLM. Once you start using that blockchain technology with those types of systems, you're gonna be able to see that the transactions are faster. They're building, like, it's through smart contracts. They're really faster, and then they're going back to using, a lack of a better word, a contract. It's locked in for life. Like, you can research this forever, and that's the power of blockchain technology when it comes to any coin. Coins like Bitcoin, it's just a one-to-one. We're not really tracking it as far as I can tell. It's like gold. We know that it went from point A to point B. And again, I've done many Bitcoin transfers. I've done Ethereum transfers, XRP transfers. Bitcoin is a slow dinosaur compared to the others. It's amazing how slow it is compared to the others. It can take up to 15 minutes, and like XRP, using blockchain, using the same similar technology, it's lightning bolt fast. Like, I've seen it go in minutes, seconds versus 10 minutes in Bitcoin. So even now, just to recap on NFTs, NFTs are using blockchain technology to lock in and say, Savant takes a picture of a basketball, he signs the basketball, and it's a little GIF, and it says, I don't know, play hard on the fourth or whatever, and then like that's his little mantra, play hard on the fourth. He sells this thing, and through blockchain technology, we're gonna be able to see coaches' digital mantra live through history, and through blockchain technology, he's still going to be paid residuals every time it gets sold. So the more that we start seeing, shameless plug to Ethereum, the more we start seeing NFTs using blockchain technology, the more Ethereum is going to grow, because they're going to be using that particular coin. So it's yeah.
If you don't mind, I want to open the floor up for some questions because there's a lot of information that's being given out. So I want people to be able to chime in and ask some questions based off of the things that you're actually saying.
Absolutely, go for it. And I'm only talking like to a mic, so I can't see the chat. So please hit the brakes. You know how I go. Stop me and let's get it.
Yeah. So right now we're focusing on the people that's in the chat. I'll look at the chat. I mean, in the Zoom. And then I'll look at the chat to see if anyone.
I'm driving, so I can't see the box yet. But just cue me in the questions, and I'll be more than happy to engage in anything. If I know it, it's yours. Knowledge, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna So do me a favor, guys. Do you have anything to ask based off of what Hector is explaining about blockchain? Anyone?
Yeah, I have a quick question about Dogecoin, not necessarily blockchain.
Okay.
All right, Hector, how do you feel the fact that they're saying Dogecoin may not hold the same value as Bitcoin because it can be produced at an unlimited amount compared to Bitcoin, which has a certain limit that can be produced at a certain time? How do you feel about Doge? How do you feel about Dogecoin?
Yeah, that's the number one argument. So we got to understand the way we see the dollar, we see gold, we see any commodity, right? It's not an infinite amount. It's not diamonds where a company actually diamonds is a really good example, because it's not unlimited, but it looks super limited, because of companies like De Beers and companies that are going to hold diamonds for a bit and create scarcity, right? Bitcoin is going to, three things are going to happen in Bitcoin. There's going to be 2 crashes and then a halving. 4 things: 2 crashes, a halving, and then no more Bitcoin. That's going to happen in our lifetime. So in 2040, there'll be no more Bitcoin. There'll be 2 crashes, 1 regular crash and 1 China crash coming up. And this is not an analyst thing. This is almost a fact based on what China's doing. So I'll go back to that in a second. I really feel that, and this is from some analysts, some from what I see, from what I gather, the value of Doge is going to be rough to replicate a larger platform like a Bitcoin. It's going to be really, really hard because of its scarcity. I'm sorry, of not, it's not scarce is one. Number 2, we're going to run into what we have with the dollar. The dollar, it just keeps going. We keep printing. That's scary, right? So if we look at it that way, there's no end. We're running out of money, we go print. Money in my savings account scares me. It's not building. It's not creating anything. Alan, you're real estate, right?
Yeah, I'm a real estate agent.
Yeah. So you understand, you understand asset. You create a brick building, it's going to live there forever, and it's an asset forever.
Correct.
As long as it doesn't burn down, and even then, it's still there's still property value in a burnt down building. You're gonna get insurance money, et cetera, et cetera. But
the land
is, it's gone. I'll be, it's nice to say my net worth will be $1 million because of the building that I have and the little money that I have. But in like 4 years, I'll be done paying a mortgage. So I know the value of it. My kids will have a deed, etc. The problem with Dogecoin is that there is almost unlimited. I don't know what the numbers are right now, but it is so high that it's nearly unlimited. And that is what creates the value of Bitcoin. Ethereum is, I think, 10 times the amount available. So Bitcoin, they didn't think it was going to grow so fast. So again, they're going to run out of coins. 2024 is in their run out. China just pulled out. China is no longer mining Bitcoin. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I do the research, but China is no longer mining. It's too hard to mine Bitcoin. It's nearly impossible. So what's going to happen in the halving means every 4 or 8 years, it gets harder and harder to mine. So as it gets harder and harder to mine, miners are getting less money for their effort, right? You never really can you can't really mine a full coin, but you belong to pools of networks of hundreds of computers running and trying to get this one, half a hash or whatever the numbers are. I'm not a mathematician. You really need to the numbers are so small and they create value. But what's going to happen is as we move forward with this, there's going to be 2 crashes, a halving, and then there's going to be none, right? So that's going to create a lot of ups and downs for Bitcoin. We've already seen a crash. I saw 2. I saw 2. I saw it at 5 in a year. I saw it at 5 and I saw it at 8,000, and it was fluctuating. Now Dogecoin, again, because it's so much of it, we got to watch. What we really need to watch is the market caps. That's really an important number because that's how you know how serious people are or how companies are, how involved they are. Like I talk a lot about XRP. XRP is number 2. I'm 3. I saw it grow from number 12 or something like that. And I didn't jump in till it was in the top 10 somewhere. But I just watched it and I was just kind of like a real spectator. And I was like, what's going on with this thing? I did more research. And then I was blue in the face when they got hit with all these regulations and all of these allegations and all of these things. And I was like, what's going to happen? Then I got happy again. And I was like, wait, this is all good because they're threatening the hell out of everybody. So again, the question now goes back to Dogecoin. Is it a threat? Is it really a threat?
So let me ask you this. Sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
With the Dogecoin, I was reading. Yeah, there is a infinite supply, but what they're saying about Dogecoin is that supply does. Let me see. Let me get my thoughts together. There's an infinite supply, but only over. They describe it as only over an infinite amount of time. So they only release so much Dogecoin for a certain period of time. For example, they're saying there are about 120 billion Dogecoin in circulation. Each year, 5 billion new Doge are added to this supply. And I'm just reading, I'm paraphrasing. It says this means that Dogecoin is disinflationary currency. There's a decrease in the rate of inflation each year. Whereas Bitcoin, they're basically saying Bitcoin, people are hoarding Bitcoin. Dogecoin, correct. Dogecoin is different because they're encouraging people to spend it. So that's why I'm saying, at least this is my thoughts. This could be a hedge against inflation for the dollar. Because when you think about the dollar, we could print dollars all day, right? So the only coin that I think, and I'm not saying Dogecoin is the only coin I own, but Dogecoin can mimic and replace the dollar in some cases.
Right. But I think that's really the part that it's not settling for me because we know the dollar it's not a good thing. We know that the dollar, the money that I have in my savings account right now doesn't make me feel like I'm going to retire in style. I can't trust my dollar. So if we're talking about mimicking a dollar, we don't want it to mimic the dollar. You
But
know,
let me ask you a question. Why don't you trust the dollar?
I don't trust the dollar because it doesn't on its own, it loses we're seeing it lose value. You know, so it doesn't grow alone in the bank. It can be printed. We've seen through recessions, it fluctuates so much, and then other things are, you know, we have inflation, and if we're not getting paid more, that old dollar that used to do something doesn't do the same anymore.
Mhm.
You know, it is just a standard that we've been accustomed to. But right
You-
now with this, like you're in real estate, that's a new
not
standard.
well. I forgot to mention, I'm not only in real estate, but I'm also in banking. I've been in banking for past 16 years. I've
Awesome,
worked in every aspect in banking.
awesome. So you see in banking that we don't really use that dollar. We use it to buy other things and assets to build off that dollar. That dollar alone is worth shit. Pardon the French.
Correct. It's useless. The bank pays you 3 cents.
You know, so that's the part that it's unsettling. Like banks hold 3% of their money. It's out in circulation. Banks make money in three ways. You know, and correct me if I'm wrong. If you're in banking, you know this is your field. But I understand they loan the money, they make fees, and they do and they make money on transactions. Fees, late fees and all the fees, and then transactional. So XLM and XRP are killing the banks with that. That's a threat, a huge threat. XRP and XLM, they're gonna back end the hell out of banks, right? So that's a huge threat. So the other way that they do it is just loaning. Now, if you're going to loan money, there's obviously an APR. What if we just start loaning Dogecoin? We start loaning whatever other coin that's going to circulate a lot faster, and maybe more people will be circulating it, and then maybe those banks don't make the same amount of money anymore. So there's going to be a real flip in what we see today as an asset. You know, and again, I'll go back to like real estate. It is going to be here forever. Holding land. There's even I don't know the name of it, but you can quickly research. They have this thing called Earth 2. You can buy a parallel, it's a parallel universe, and you could buy land and sell land and make money right now in real estate. You ready for this? You can go buy Dubai or parts of Dubai and hold it. And then some other knucklehead's gonna come and buy or bid on that you're selling, and you're gonna make money, and it's all crypto. You're making money on real estate on Earth, on areas on Earth, in a fake parallel universe. I mean, you can look this up right now. It's called Earth 2. And you could just Google it, real estate Earth 2. And this is, it just solidifies the point that real estate is king. It's just not a language that a lot of us speak. But when it comes to this new Dogecoin, that's the part that I'm going to invest. Don't get me wrong. I'm investing. I'm putting money in. I just feel that it's not going to get to the level of a Bitcoin anytime soon. And when I mean anytime soon, I'm looking at my coins 2028, 2030. I'll be comfortable. After that, whatever happens, happens. I don't think it's going to get to that point because of the market caps. There's not going to be enough people really taking it serious, or companies really going nuts and buying it out. That's just my unsettling stomach when it comes to Dogecoin. You know, I'm actually in transit. Getting out the car. So if there's any questions, jump all over it. I don't know if that, makes sense, Alan. You mentioned you had 20,000.
Yeah, I have around 21,000 Doge, but that's not all I'm invested in. I'm invested in a lot of bit mining companies too.
Gotcha.
So I'm diverse. Dogecoin is just one thing
Absolutely. I have. I'm gonna have about 5. I'm definitely gonna have a little bit of Doge, but it's gonna be XRP, XLM, VET. I've been looking at another company. It's in like marijuana. It's being legalized in New York. That's New York is a humongous market cap for anything. So when New York is in, New York is in. So I have to do my research on that. That's like in medical. I like to maybe dabble in something medical. So I'm still researching. But I'm gonna hold Doge. I'm totally gonna hold. I just don't feel as strong or passionate as I see like an XLM and an XRP, a VET. that I'm gonna like, bet the house on it. If I had to bet the house, I bet the house on vet. Like that's how I feel right now.
Have you, last question, Hector, I don't want to take time from anybody else, sorry. Anyone else who has questions, but have you researched a coin called Safe Moon? What do you know about it?
I have not. What sector is it? What is it doing?
I'm not sure, but again, I haven't researched it enough. I was just wondering if you heard about it,
Yeah,
but a few
I
people
look at
talking about it right now.
Yeah, let's dump it in the chat. I always love. I had a conversation. I do photography on the side. That's how I met Ed, and that's how I got connected with Savant. That's like my little side project. And I was talking to an artist, and he has they're trying to be like the new Wu-Tang. They got a lot of guys, a lot of talent, et cetera, et cetera. And somehow we start talking about investing. And he's like, yeah, my mother's boyfriend is down with XRP, right? And I only throw that out because it was just a name that I didn't throw out. It's rare that somebody kicks a name back to me. Soon as I hear about a coin, and I love to research, I have to look at some kind of function. Like if you're a homeowner, you need three things: you need gas, you need electricity, and you need internet. Like you cannot live without those three things. Right now, internet is a necessity. They're trying to, like, I don't know if it's just for New York or just America. They're saying that everybody needs, if it's not high speed internet, just everybody needs internet. It's becoming a necessity. So when I look at a coin, my job is to say, tonless hours of research. I miss Engine, by the way. I don't know if you saw that. I'm bitter about Engine because I did the research, I put it on my board, and I didn't address it, and I missed out. But I always got to look at who's touching it, who's talking about it, what companies are big that want it. And that even if it's just talks or rumors, that bubbles up. That's when I can get a little gas on it. And then, is there a utilitarian thing? Can we live without this thing? That's how I look at it. And then I see, like I said, and then I said, sorry. And then I look at XRP and I'm like, this is a problem. This is going to piss off a lot of people. They're actually building standards, ISO 2000 or 4000 something. These are the standards that banks are going to transfer money through. So if you're in banking, just go dissect XRP and let's talk about it, because this is how I look at coins. So you said, what is it? Space.
Safe
Sorry,
Moon.
Alan, you said space something?
No,
Safe.
it's called Safe Moon. Again,
Safe
I didn't do
Moon.
too much research on it, but I'm just hearing news circulate about it.
I love it when people just talk. I love to just be like, what's that about? And that's how I found XRP. That's how I found all the ones that I'm passionate about. I'm going to invest. At least when I say invest, I'm talking about at least 2,500 to $3,000. That's what I call investing. So I want to diversify. Some are going to be more than others, but at the bare minimum, I'll be like, all right, I'm in, X amount of coins or X amount of money. I'll definitely, if somebody can put it in the chat, because I'll forget about it, and then I'll have to go back to it. But that's how
it's in the chat. It's in the chat.
Excellent. Yeah, that's how I look at things, and I love to look at what the TAs are saying. Look at what the rumor sites. I like Crypto Panic, because it's kind of like a rumor site, and then there's a real diverse, um, um, people in the chat and in the forum, and then you can research what people have said, and there's a lot of I told you so's, so I'm really cool with that.
Definitely.
Okay. Hey, great information, man. Great information. We got a great team here. We have 13 people on from what I can see, and hopefully this group will continue to grow, man. Thank you for all the information that you're putting out there for us, Hector. And, we all bring something to the table. I know some of us are quiet and we're listening, but we would like, more interaction, more questions. So if you guys, are investors,
So Vaughn, I'm gonna transition, but just to chime in real quick, that's the only way we're gonna really build, because somebody may talk about a coin, and I'm like, hell yeah, So we got to interact more, even if it's rumor, even if there's like no small question. I don't know a lot. I know what I know, and I've been like really passionate about. I'm in front of 4 screens a day. Like I have my home setup, and then I have my place set up. I love to research this stuff. So if people don't be shy, don't be bashful, just dump stuff in the chat. I'm gonna still listen, but I just wanted to say that that's the only way we learn. Like Alan can be giving me the $1 million pill right now, and I'm not gonna knock it. I'm gonna be like, what the hell are you talking about? You know, he may be giving me that recipe. So I definitely gonna research that.
Yeah, we all gotta get involved, because it would be like you're in a classroom and you have a question, but you don't want to ask it because you don't understand, you know, what you're really learning. But the best way to get the knowledge is to definitely ask and find the answer, because the opportunities out here for us to capitalize on this time that we're living in. I don't think there's ever been another time like this where we have so much information on investing. Because I remember, when I was, say 10, 15 years younger, and the internet, it was around the time when the internet boom. I didn't know how to invest in any of that. I didn't have the knowledge. And look at me now. It's like I know a lot about investing. So we're living in a time, man, where we have an opportunity to help each other, and we can't be bashful about speaking on it. I'm not, hey, Hector, you have a lot of knowledge. You explain things very well, but I invest very well. You can explain it a lot better than I can explain it, but I understand it in a quieter way than putting it out there like you're putting it out there. But I know exactly what I'm doing. I can say, hey, Alan, invest in this, and here's why. But you come on and you explain it very, very well. So we all bring something to the table. I'm not Hector. I'm Savant. Alan's Alan. Pierre is Pierre. So, but we gotta let our voices be heard. We're investors. We're helping each other. So we're on the channel to come together. So if anybody have anything, and let's ask it. Let's say what you have to say.
Yeah, I got a question here. I was expecting about a friend of mine at work, so I was telling him, yo, you need to start investing. You need to start investing, and then he actually did. So he opened an account, and then he was showing me what he invested in, and then he showed me about the crypto ADA. So I was like, okay, so I don't know what it is yet. So I was about to go do my research on it because I know Ed is in the crypto. I know Ed, you know about the ADA?
Yes, that's Cardano.
Yeah.
Competition to Ethereum.
Or that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah. Are you asking a question about it? Did I answer your question?
Yeah. About ADA. You guys, if you know about ADA, that's what I want to ask.
Yeah, well, I can get into that a little bit. Like I said, Hector does a good job of explaining, but I do know stuff, because I do my own research as well. So basically, I go with popularity. Let's our top 25. I can use sports for that. If my team is not ranked in the top 25, I have a great opportunity to get into the top 25 based off of my practice habits and my performance in when it comes game time. So I kind of look at the stock market the same way. It's like if you're not hearing about something, you need to research and figure out what that thing does. So when it comes to the top 25, Ethereum is number 2. So everyone or most people would know about Ethereum. So that would be a great investment to invest in the top 5, top 10, or top 25. To me, that's a great investment. So now where do you make your most money? You may want to look at a Cardano who may give Ethereum a run for its money. It costs less. Ethereum costs more. And for the fact that a lot of us probably missed the opportunity to buy Ethereum when it was $38. I got into Ethereum when it was 300 and something, almost $400. and now it went to 2.5, but I got it at the low. So that was a perfect time for me to get in. I got in pretty early. So I'm happy about that. And that's the way that all of us and whoever is listening should do your research and try to get in at the lowest that you can get in, especially at something that's ranked number 2. Can you imagine? Bitcoin is in the thousands, 10,000, 15,000, and Ethereum number 2 at $38. Can you imagine? You do your research and you should be looking at it like, oh wow, let me get in. This is ranked number 2. So to say that, who's ranked number 3 fluctuates from 3 to 4. It's a no-brainer. Like if you're really doing your research, you'll be looking at XRP. I'm not a financial advisor, but just look at it. Just look at the ranking. When I'm going up against a top 25 team and I'm not in the top 25, I'm going in there to win, but odds are is like, what do I have to really do to win this game? Because this team is highly ranked. Of course I can win, but the odds are stacked against me. So if this cryptocurrency is third and the price is low, I'm no financial advisor, but that's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer to me. And Hector, you keep talking about XRP, but do your research. Again, I'm stating that I'm no financial advisor, but the dollar has been around for a while. And if you're skeptical about what's happening, odds are people who understand it better than you do is investing in it. If Dogecoin is rattling your brain, from my belief, it's rattling your brain, I think you better look twice. Because in my history, I've seen things that's always discredited gain credit. I've seen things that's not in the top 25 that nobody believe in, or a team that's not going, they don't believe they're going to win, and they actually knock off that top 25s, our teams in the top 25. So I'm just of the belief that don't always believe what you hear. Do your own research and believe in what's happening, the changes. Things need to change. I can go on about coronavirus. I played basketball and you're dribbling the basketball. My teammates dribbling the basketball. I see guys spit on the court and use their sneakers to wipe it up. I'm smart enough to say, okay, you guys like to give handshakes. Don't shake my hand. You just spit on the court, ball bouncing on the court. To me, that's nasty. So I've always played basketball and say, I'm not touching nobody's hands, because after the game, I might go grab a burger and I ain't even wash my hand. No, and they ain't doing that. So I look at coronavirus as a thing that wakes everybody up. I'm a germophobic. So at the end of the day, I'm looking and I'm like, listen, this happens and it should open up everybody's eyes that, you know what, you need to be a little bit more cleansing. You know what I'm saying? Cleansing or whatever, because I've never wanted to shake anybody's hand after playing any game. So I just look at an opportunity of this is changing the world. And I look at the dollar, like Hector said, it's helped for a number of years. It's been around for over 100 years. Something's got to change. Something's got to change. So just look at what's happening and invest wisely. Take a chance, because that's what I'm doing. I'm not telling anybody else to do exactly what I'm doing, but I'm taking a chance because I just see the way things are happening. I've seen this before. I was young when it was happening, and I see people wasn't investing. And I'm getting this opportunity now, and all I have to do is research and use my brain and think back, and I'm seeing it now. Now I'm thinking back and I'm seeing it now. So I'll gladly take that chance. I'll gladly understand, XRP is a no-brainer to me. Out of all my investments, XRP is number 1. So if I have my ranking, I'll tell you number 1, XRP. I'll tell you number 2, Ethereum. Those are my top 2 right there. It's a no-brainer. But do your own research.
testing sound real quick, guys. You hear me right?
Yes, we hear you.
Excellent. I was gonna chime in on that Cardano. I don't know if you were Savannah, if you were I don't want to interrupt you. I don't know if you were done.
Well, I mean, I was just saying, the top 25 Ethereum is definitely a no-brainer to me. Cardano might be coming up behind it and it's lower, but don't be surprised Ethereum goes from 2.5 to 10,000. It's like, just stop missing the boat. Stop, how can I put this? Stop second guessing when should I get in? Because when it was $38, people were doing the same thing. And the same thing is being done with almost everything. It's like, slow down, do your own research, stop listening to people, and just use your own brain. And that's it.
Yeah, 1,000%. 88 Cardano is built out of the Ethereum framework. So it is, Ethereum's, it's created from Ethereum. So like NFTs created, 90% of them are created from Ethereum. Cardano is the same. As I just took some real quick notes when I walked in. As Savant was saying, Coach said, if you missed the boat on Ethereum and he heard of it I heard of it at like $38. Some people heard it on their sub 100 and then they got involved. Well, this is your second chance. And if you believe in, like you said, the top 25, Ethereum is definitely top 25. So Cardano is the new player. I think Savant mentioned it already. The gas fees are really high. So that means that when you're transferring money to money, wallet to wallet, or doing business transactions on other coins. Like I just recently bought Capo coin, and that had to be purchased through Ethereum. So you needed Ethereum to power it, meaning the gas coins, and then it'll be transferred to Capo coin. So I have 3,000 Capo coins. I don't know what that's going to do, but I didn't want to be a hypocrite. I support the market. If somebody that's doing or talking the talk and they're in the limelight and they're saying, hey, I'm creating a coin, I'll throw a couple of dollars in. I think I put like $30 or $35 or something, right? But I know that it's off of the Ethereum backbone. I know that coin was built off the Ethereum backbone. So I'm not just investing in their coin, I'm also investing in Ethereum. So I'm cool with that. ADA is supposedly, quote unquote, not my quote, the Ethereum killer. Because it's cheaper, it's faster, and who doesn't want cheap and fast? That's basically it. And I have Cardano. I have currently 500 in Cardano right now, 500 coins. I bought it at very high, but I'm willing to wait, and it's on schedule. If you look at the predictions, if you look at what it's doing, it's on schedule. I think it's like in a year, actually it's ahead of schedule. I'm sorry. Those predictions are old. In a year, 2022, it should be like at 151 up to 180. So it's on schedule. Give it some time. It's going to build. It's a slow brew. A lot of these things, like coaches mentioned, Ethereum going to 10,000. So that's 3x your money, 4x, right? From 25 to 10,000. If you get in now, that's 3x your money. A little over 3x your money. You can probably get more with Cardano right now because you'll buy a hell of a lot more, and Cardano will go to $10, and going from 141 or 121 where it was to $10, you're riding it for 9x. So you got to think about, we all think about, not you, everybody has to think about how much return on investment do you want? So that's another question that you have to answer yourself. Like I personally can't do Bitcoin because Bitcoin will go to 300. Great. That's 5x. Cool. I made 5x with XRP. I made 5x with XLM. I made with the moon, I'm calling it moonshine till I get it right. I made 5x with the moonshine. I made 5x with Dogecoin. So that 5x may not be worth it to me because that 5x is going to take way too long to get. In my head, because of the market caps. So for me, if you want to give it the thumbs up, thumbs down, Cardano ADA, it's a thumbs up for me. definitely. And I think from what Coach said, he said Ethereum is a top 25. That's part of the Ethereum family, so it might be a thumbs up from him, as well, because it's a player, and it's one of those. If you're bitter about missing out on Ethereum, you have another chance. Get this.
And I also want to jump in real quick, and we have to also understand, Hector, if you have a business, let's just you have a rest. You own a McDonald's, and where do you live?
I'm in the Bronx.
Okay, you own a McDonald's in the Bronx on such and such street in the Bronx, and I see you're doing very well, and I go and I own a franchise just like you own a franchise, and now I'm competing with you. This happens. This is business. We don't want Hector to be the only person capitalizing. There's plenty out there for everyone. So there's nothing wrong with Cardano competing with Ethereum, and continue.
It's actually a great thing in business when there's competition. That means you're not crazy. So if I'm selling, in New York, a lot of us are from New York. We see constant bodegas literally across the street from each other. They're 50 feet away from each other, and they still succeed. So that competition or that necessity, that guy has eggs for 127. The other guy has eggs for 120, 120. One is higher on eggs. So you get eggs over there and you get milk over here. You get cheese over there and you get, I don't know, potato bread over here. There's going to be some competition. So there's going to be some needs. Like I mentioned, Ethereum has the NFT. That's their thing. NFT is going to take off through Ethereum unless Cardano steps up and creates something else. I'm not really too keen on current technology of what anybody's doing right now, because I'm in my books just watching the numbers and trying to like jump in and out of certain things. I have ADA. I have it on Coinbase Pro, which I kind of regret because I don't like the interface. I'm not going to swing trade or day trade. So, and I can't move it as easy to something else. I can't convert it. So I'm a little bit angry about that. But, that's actually might be a talking point later of mistakes I've made. So.
Yeah, we all make them, don't we? It's like one of the best thing about making your mistakes is you're able to learn from them, and let me tell you, man, I look at my portfolio right now, and Alan mentioned that, majority things are red right now. And I'm of the belief that these things are red for a reason, because when times are hard and changes need to be made, you are going to be challenged. And the stock market is a challenge the same way that life is a challenge. It's like if you don't buckle down and figure out what's going on, you're gonna miss the opportunity. So there's no way because of red, I'm gonna run. I'm just gonna keep on buying, because what better opportunity and what do we have to lose to buy something at its lowest? If I believe in a computer that was $1,000 and then all of a sudden that computer is $100, man, listen, I'm gonna buy a bunch of those computers and start a store and start selling them at the high. So that's kind of like how I look at the stock market right now. It's like, okay, there used to be a lot of gas stoves in homes. Most homes now, what they have, electric stoves. So I mean, listen, man, we can sit there and be afraid and wonder if this change is really happening. Think about it. Like, really slow yourselves down and think about if the change is really happening. Think about it. Like, it's a no-brainer to me. Like, nothing stays the same. We get older, nothing stays the same. So you really believe like the money that's done, you really believe that we're going to continue to put our money in the bank? Like, the bank is fooling itself if they don't think that we evolve. You think that we're not going to learn at some point that, okay, let me put $10,000 in the bank. It ain't doing nothing for me. How many years is it going to take you to figure that one out? So you really think that the bank is going to stop XRP or XLM? It's not going to happen, because we are the consumer. We are the people. This world is driven by us, what we do. to drive the economy. Like, think about it. Are they going to be able to survive without people? It's not going to happen. So if you don't put your money in the bank, what the bank going to do? If we decide to boycott the bank, what do you think is going to happen? If we come together and say, you know what, I'm not putting no money in the bank, what do you think is going to happen? So in other words, this thing is in our control, and we just have to understand that. And we can't second guess anything that's happening. Like, we can't second guess the internet. It came and it can't be stopped. Our kids are on it. They can't stop them.
Well, Savon, banks tell you to save, 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 and they give you 3 cents and they invest your money and make a profit. So that's
why
how
we're not going to put it in there. But that's why
Exactly.
we're not putting it in there. It don't make sense. It's like the last time I put some money in the bank, I mean, I put money in there, but it leaves the bank quickly. Like, I get paid in the bank. As soon as it go in, I'm like, give me that. And I put it where it's growing. I'm like, it's a no-brainer. It's like, this don't make sense. What am I keeping my money there for? The more money you have in the bank is the more you gain on it. A lot of poor people ain't got that kind of money to be putting $50,000 in the bank to make a good amount on it. You know, so I think I was gonna make a point. I lost it. But I'll give the floor to someone else. When I remember it, I'll mention it. Alan, you got anything? Anybody else?
Savon,
There's some people here.
Savon, what do you think? I want to hear more of your thoughts on big digital as far as their regulation and what they're going to bring to the crypto space.
Big digital. What is my real thoughts on them? Well, to be honest with you, what drives me with big digital, why I believe in them, is because it's like Coinbase all over again. In addition to loaning money, loaning crypto. So to me, it's like, if you're coming to the space as one of the first to really go in hard on that, is no different than the bank loaning money. So that's the driving force for me. The fact that they're going into a new space and they're going to be like, you know, an exchange. They are an exchange, and they're going to be loaning money. So there's two parts to their business, and that's what drives it for me. That's what has me being a believer. The fact that you send a couple articles to me about Kevin Durant and Nas investing in Coinbase before it IPO. So Coinbase been around when crypto was created. They've been around. They're one of the first one to the party. And those guys obviously got the memo before we did and invested in Coinbase. So now everybody gets excited and start waiting for Coinbase to IPO, which is like, to me, it's like, are we thinking backwards or something? It's like, if you look at the stock market, if it's been around for 200 plus years, and until coronavirus hit, when things IPO, they don't go forward, they go backwards. So it doesn't even make sense to even purchase Coinbase. It doesn't. You wait for it to drop, and like, unless you have a ton of money where you can say, okay, let me buy that $380 IPO, and then you know you're a day trader and it's about to go for a ride, and then you sell and get out. You have to put down a lot of money to make a good profit. But if you're buying Coinbase for $380 and you make $100, you now got $480. What did that really do for you? You made $100. I can make $100, go make some deliveries. So it don't make sense. So I'm going to get into a big digital because it's an opportunity again, like how Nas and Kevin Durant had that opportunity and we didn't know nothing about it. So I hope I made sense of that. That's what drives me with big digital. I'm not making a mistake of watching big digital come and say, oh, I'm IPOing. And then when everybody's getting excited, I'm going to be like Kevin Durant and Nas. It's the way I look at it. I'm gonna take that opportunity. I'm gonna take that chance. It's a risk. So what? Coinbase was a risk. The cryptos weren't doing so well years ago when they invested in it. Just look at what's happening. It's a no-brainer, man. Like you think Tesla was great? They were taking a beating.
They're still taking a beating. They just got a lot of Bitcoin now, so their balance sheet looks good. They're not doing great selling cars. Toyota's still beating them.
But they before they got popular though, they were taking a beating. Nobody.
Oh, absolutely. I just want to make clear that their balance sheet has a lot of Bitcoin on it. Like we need to all understand that part. Because I was going back and forth with a friend of mine. He's a car nut, and I'm like, Tesla's making money. They're not the greatest car manufacturer. They're not even, they're good. I love the product. I don't have one, but my neighbor's like two houses down has one. But their balance sheet is full of Bitcoin. That's what got them out the dirt. So it's not their wonderful electric, super sexy cars. It's Bitcoin.
Well, maybe he made that move understanding what's to come.
Listen, that guy speaks, whatever they speak on Mars, I'm sure that Elon speaks that language. He wants to go there really badly. So I'm not knocking him at all. I just want to make sure that we all understand that Tesla does not make great cars. They're good, just not great. They're okay. But they got a lot of Bitcoin on that balance sheet. They got a lot of coin. And that jacked them up. So they're going to ride out Bitcoin for a minute. They're definitely going to ride it out.
Yeah, and to jump back in, so everyone kind of gets this, and just take your time and don't try to get rich overnight. If I'm to give any advice, it would be that I don't think about getting rich tomorrow. I've been on earth long enough to realize that I'm not playing lotto. I don't play lotto. I just don't. I mean, you have to be in it to win it, but I'm just smart enough to know, let me go figure something out to make $1 million instead of trying to win $1 million. Like, how do I make $1 million? There's so many things that we could do to make $1 million. I'll give this example. When we have our kids and we continue to waste money on things that they really don't need, you definitely ain't gonna get to $1 million. Imagine the years that you're spending when you could have been investing. You would have made $1 million in 5 years or less. And that opportunity is now. We can live and learn from it, but make $1 million. Don't try to win $1 million. Like you could be wasting a lot of money trying to win $1 million. Just make it. Make it, man. If you can make $40,000 a year, $50,000 a year, you can make $1 million a year, man. You just have to set it in motion, get a plan, put it together, and go for it. So the opportunities out there, man. Don't get excited. One of the things that I see it all the time, is people getting excited about things like Forex and, this person's making so much money in Forex. Yeah, I saw your message.
I think Forex is that's a whole nother podcast right there. I've had this week, by the way, I want to just chime in, since we just to, I guess, have the floor real quick on these scammers, these Bitcoin flipper people. I've been hit with two of them back to back, and I'm on Instagram, and when I post stuff or I hashtag cryptocurrency, they come flocking, or the flock comes, or if I'm using that term right, I think a flock is a pack of birds, right? So they're flocking over, if that makes sense. But they have a plan. It's a Ponzi scheme. I just, Coach mentioned about get rich quick. This is not it at all. Whatever I'm personally doing, I'm looking at 2028, 2030, that I have enough to be able to push my plans of early retirement, forward. So if I can accumulate 750,000, the house will be paid for. I don't really need anything else. If the kids are in school, I'm kind of happy. I think that that's going to take a lot of my I don't live a extravagant life. I don't need a yacht right now. I'll borrow one of your yachts, Coach, when you get your bazillions. But but it's definitely not quick, Rich. We gotta in this discussion now. There's a couple of coins that I gotta look up, and I look at another site I forgot to mention is Coin Market Cap. It has a lot of good useful information. I'm on it right now looking at something, and I don't like to just yes everything. I like to look at it, see what the numbers look like, see what kind of volume. That's another thing too. Volume indicators as far as like the 24-hour clock. How much do people care? And that's really important. How much volume is being traded on a 24-hour period? Good numbers are 25%. That's huge. So if you see some good numbers and there's traffic, and then the market cap is increasing, it's going up and down. Those are really good, solid indicators on, and then you do more research, right? So I just look at those two numbers. That's just the way that I've seen a few things. There's a lot of indicators, but just to tie those two, I had something else on the don't get rich quick subtle ideas. And the scammers, please, if you're on social media, especially Instagram, they're lurking. It's a Ponzi scheme. They want to charge you some weird activation fee. They want you to invest in their company, and then they're going to flip. I've seen certificates for certified flippers. I mean, that's just ridiculous. But it's to the FOMO. It's to the, oh my God, I can make money on Bitcoin. They're going to show you charts, and they're gonna basically steal pictures from people and create this lifestyle. They're gonna create these pictures of this lifestyle. So you're gonna be like, oh wow, this is they're in the good. I like to ask them. This is one thing since we don't have any questions right now. Ask them to show you to talk on video. That's my favorite thing to do. Let's do a Zoom. Let's do an IG chat. So I can see you. Show me your gear. You're a miner? Show me your rig. You're a Bitcoin miner? Show me what you got. Don't send me pictures. Don't send me videos. Show me your actual rig. Show me your enterprise. Not that I'm going to invest with them anyway. I just want to let them know that I know that they're full of it. I have, my machine on this side. It has like colors and stuff. It's pretty impressive looking. It's okay. But then I have 3 monitors on this side that I use for my day job. So I like to just show them. I take a picture of it and I just show them, and then I tell them I do this for real. I just try to embarrass them and say, look, you're a clown, because they're gonna go and they're gonna try to reach out to somebody else. So I try to occupy as much time as I can from them, so they don't go out and try to rip somebody else off, because they're doing it. They're definitely ripping people off. So I just wanted to chime into that. I just don't like bullies. If I were playing on Coach's team, I'd be in the paint. I'd be like a Dennis Rodman, trying to beat up the biggest center I could find. That'd be me.
Hey, Hector.
Yes. Who is
Hi.
a new voice?
Yeah, this is Anita. I just want to tap in just a little bit on the scheme on social media.
Yes.
They tried me about a month ago. This young lady, very nice, warm, approach. And she asked about if I ever heard about Bitcoin. And I mentioned, yeah. She's like, oh, well, I could help you make $10,000 in a really short period of time. And I said, sounds really interesting, very lucrative. However, I don't know you. I don't know about investing with you. And she just went away.
You got an easy one. You really, that was such I swear to you, if I have the time, and sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, I keep them in.
Because I was going to engage with her, and it was a girl. She introduced her name. Her name was Leslie. I'm from California. What's your name? I didn't even give her my name because I was like, this is so random.
Accent?
Huh?
Did she have a California accent?
No. This was on an IG. She just DM'd me.
Oh, you never? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So she started to come in, and I wanted to engage with her just to play along with her. Yeah. But after I was like, yeah, I need to do a little bit of research. Tell me about your company. I never heard back from her.
Yeah, I honestly, if I have the time, I engage as much as I can.
Just to filter the foolishness out.
Yeah, because what
Yeah.
I like to do is tell them you're full of it, but also I know that I'm taking time away from them. So I'm running the smoke and mirrors. I'm running I'm trying to use I'm running the screen right now, right? I'm playing and I'm gonna hurt their game. Because if I
Mm-hmm.
have the time to just chat and I'm on, in the middle of whatever I'm doing, and I could take 15 minutes to 20, not 20 minutes, but let's say 5 minutes to just go back and forth in a day because we go back and forth. They're like, hey, bro, what are you doing? Like I can show you the texts. They're hilarious. But I do it because I know that there's gonna be somebody else that they're gonna catch. So if I can help avoid that somebody else and lower their self-esteem, I'll do it. Like I'll be that guy. I'll be that goon. I'm telling you, I'll fall out, coach. Send me in. I will be that goon in the paint. I have no problems being that guy. And I feel like it's a service that I have to provide if I have the information to keep them on the line. And then I show them. I show them my what I'm doing. I'm like, yeah, let's log in. Like I'm like, this is me. Like they're not gonna find me, but the idea is that I know that they're tucked away in some cave somewhere, hurting, trying to hurt other people. They're not doing well financially. I know this, and they're just trying to make money off people and run away and close their accounts. And so anyway, when you have them, let's talk about it. Let's have I may just start another account, just post all the garbage that I see, just for fun, just so people see the faces of these people, because it's just a waste of time. It's they're just savages.
I want to add this. Um, with what's going on right now, where there's people having so much success investing, you have to also keep this in mind that people are out there, and it don't have to always be scammers. It could be someone who claim that they know what they're doing, and they're just trying to make money, giving you information off of what they think is good for them. And you have to be careful, because if you have a plan, don't let someone else deviate you from your plan. If your plan is working, don't change it, because there's a lot of people out there that's going to try to get you to change your plan based off of the fact that they see that you're actually doing good, and they're going to throw you off, because if they can take some of the money that you're actually gaining, they're going to do it. And I say that because, as I say, the world turns, and I've been around long enough to see a lot of people come at me, even when I was building my program. Hey, I can do this for you, because they see that you're doing it, and they want to knock you off your game and take away some of your reign. And I see the same thing happening now, because that's why I decided to form this group and, come on to YouTube and share, because the more that we can work together and have success, the stronger we become as a group. It's like a team understanding what each other does. Hector said he likes to be in the paint. So if I'm playing with Hector, I'm going to definitely feed his ego to say, hey, go get him. So whatever, everyone is here. I want to understand every single person. It's very important for us to try and be on here every week if we can, because the more that we on here is the more example we're setting for anyone who wants to have success. Because I'm a firm believer, if you take time off, your account will also take time off. If you're gonna build, you got to be consistent. You cannot do anything half, what. You have to stay consistent with what you're doing. If I'm working out 3 days a week, I'm going to get results if I do that every week. If I begin to say, what, I'm going to go down 3, I'm going to do 3, next week I'm going to do 1, eventually I'm going to stop. And I believe in consistency. So coming together and doing what we're doing, like we're doing right now, it'll definitely keep your mind open to people that's trying to scam you, people that's trying to knock you off from what you're doing, steer you in a different direction. And I even go as far as saying this. Do you really believe that any analyst that's out there, or some analyst that's out there, do you believe that they all want you to make money? So I look at that and I say, you know what? I need to figure this thing out on my own. I can't count on what no analyst says, because I can figure out what the world does. I've been alive long enough to analyze my own life and to analyze what I'm investing in. I don't need somebody to tell me anything. I'm a great listener. You know, if I'm listening to Hector, is because I see where he's going with this. I see that he's trying to help people. He's not really trying to tell people, hey, listen to me, this is how it goes. He's just sharing, you know, and I'm able to pick some of what he's saying and use it for my own good, you know. But I don't need to, if I tell, hey, big digital is it for me, I don't need nobody just going in it just because I said it. Go and figure out why you're going to invest in it. I'm only sharing because I care about it, and I'm doing my own analytic about this company. You know, it's no different than when I have a team. I'm invested in those kids that I'm, you know, going to battle with. You know, so that's kind of like how I look at things, man. Be part of something, stay part of something, stay part of that thing. Because if you don't, you're going to find yourselves going in circles. You know, I'm a firm believer in that. You will go in circles. You're going to jump from group to group if you don't stick to a group. I'm a firm believer in that. Or find a group that you can stick to. That's it. That's how you get ahead in life.
Just to chime in on that, this is all positive peer pressure, right? Positive influence, positive cognitive recognition. So when we're you guys hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. This definitely the workout analogy is it's dead on. So if you have somebody that's your workout partner, you're like, hey, even if it's a digital, you're far away. I'm like, hey, did you do? Or let's not even say work. I have back issues here and there, right? So if somebody else has back issues, we can talk about, I've done this for my sciatic, I've done this for for my piriformis muscle. I do this for my hamstrings. I do this for my hip flexors. I do this stretch, etc. So then we could vibe off of each other on that and keep each other honest. Like, hey, I know that if I don't stretch for a week and a half, I start tightening up. And if I start tightening up, other things start bugging out on me. So if somebody wants to keep me honest, that's what this group is for, to say, hey, did you do the research on this? Or, hey, I did the research on this. It's not for me. I'm already like maxed out on this account, or I'm doing this to that. Like I just got schooled on, because we can talk about certain things. And because I live in New York, I don't have access to it. So I have to figure out ways to how to trade. And that's what we had a discussion about wallets, how to move from one wallet to another, how to, move coin from one place to another. So that's really important, just to hone in on that point, that this may not be for you right now, but at least you're talking the language now by coming in. So you're listening and you're like, maybe you're tapped out. I couldn't tap in and get more Dodge for a bit. And now I'm, moving some money around. I made some money this weekend. So I'm like, all right, I'm not buying any more whiskey this weekend. I'm buying some more coins, so that's what helps us, again, circulate the information and keeps us fresh and keeps us thinking about it. Even if right now you can't, at least you're in an environment that we can speak on it. I got a couple of notes. And by the way, anybody just interrupt me if I'm off. Analysts, their best interest is their YouTube channel. So they're going to regurgitate information that they heard. Some of them do go into the charts and they know their stuff. They can talk about Fibonacci, analytics, and they can tell you charts of ups and downs and high lows and high low strategies. And there's different strategies to swing, and they can go crazy on that. But a lot of that is for day trading or swing trading. I am holding. Personally, I'm holding. I've made some moves to make 300 here, 400 here, and then I let go of stuff, and then I feel good, or it didn't work in my benefit, and I don't feel so good. But I invested already in something else that it kind of balanced me out, and I could talk a little bit more about my losses this week. Coach mentioned Forex earlier, and I took a note and I forgot to talk about it. Forex is amazing. Amazing. Not for me. All right. Forex is real. It's the real deal. Not for me. A lot of places that tell you how to trade, they're going to talk about call signals. It's so fractional, granular, the way that you make money in Forex, that you have to have an enormous wallet to be able to make $150 a day. $300 a day, it's almost a six-figure salary. So in order for you to be a working professional, you got to make at least $200 a day to say that I'm a trader, right? Or whatever it is, whatever your number is. My number is 300. Like if I can make $300 a day on the side doing this, I'm like, yo, I'm Big Willie. I'm Big Willie right now, right? So I cannot make $300 in Forex because my wallet or my investments are not large enough to take advantage of those small pips, up and downs, those candlesticks, all of that stuff. I am really not bright enough for all of that. I'm not fast enough for all of that. I cannot be in front of a computer all day for all of that. So again, it's not for me. When you subscribe to a group, I get people need to make money. But when it comes to Forex, you're subscribing to a signal group, and that signal group is based on the amount of money that you have and the amount of the ability to be on exchanges that allow you to trade very, very fast and get in, get out. Again, my stomach, it's not for me. I'm not going to knock it. It's not for me. So I just want to, talk about that because I've had people jump on Forex. And by the way, I will say this. It's a cult sometimes. I'm gonna just say what it is. If I have to go to Coach, and I'm just going through some names here, and I got to go to Matthew and Sheena and Blizo and Ed and whoever the iPhone person is, I think it was a young lady that spoke earlier. And I have to ask you guys to contribute to something every single day, our first conversation. It's creating like a cult-like environment. The propaganda around it is too much. That's a red flag. If I say, hey, I'm having a conversation, blah, blah, if you like what I said, buy me a cup of coffee. I love coffee. Throw me a Cash App. Throw Coach a Cash App for this, whatever we're doing, so he can fund maybe ads on this, or we can fund something, a weekly, like a Patreon. I would subscribe to a Patreon. We're doing this, and there's a lot of information being circulated. I would totally be like, hey, here's $5 for a Patreon thing, and it's a monthly contribution. I'm cool with that. And anybody that decides that that's for them, that's cool too. But a lot of these groups are signal groups. They tell you how to get in and get out with massive amounts of money. I don't have that right now. So it's not for me. I just wanted to make sure that some things are great ideas and those are the limits or what I understand of them. And then I'm able to say, not for me. Like if Coach hands me the ball, he's like, yo, shoot the ball. I'm like, Coach, we talked about this. I'm the guy in the paint that fouls out in the third. I'm the guy that makes people bleed. Like, don't give me the ball and tell me to shoot it. It's not for me. Like, I'm just want to make sure. I covered the scammers thing. The analysis. Go back to the analysis. The TAs, technical analysts, real quick. I use something called Social Blade on. It's an add-on for Internet Explorer or Chrome. It looks at YouTube and it tells you the possible number of money that they can be generating. TAs make money on sponsorships. They tell you click on this link to create accounts. They talk a lot in a 11-minute, 20-minute, 30-minute period, and then have a lot of breaks, commercial breaks for ads. That's how they make their revenue. It doesn't matter what they say. They're making money regardless. Like I used to listen to a lot of XRP speculations, but then it's like, you're not really giving me advice that I don't already know. I'm getting in. I'm in already. You could talk about all the price predictions. I don't care anymore. My job is to take all my pennies under the couch, put them all in a little thing with the little coil thing, and then go to the bank teller and say, give me that XRP, baby. She's gonna look at me like I'm crazy. I'm taking all my coins under the couch, everything under the rugs. I'm gonna clean my daughter's room, get all the quarters that she dropped, and I'm putting it in XRP. I don't need a technical analyst to tell me this anymore. Like I'm ready to go. And we have to just, what Coach said earlier, you got to set that pace and you got to just stick with it. Like if you say this is your thing, his is big digital, I'm gonna look to research. I just heard another one in our, in our WhatsApp chat, and I'm like, all right, I'll listen. Somebody mentioned moonshine earlier, and I said I'm gonna keep saying moonshine till I get the name right. I'll listen, and I am going to keep listening. But when I say I'm going vet first, I'm putting all my money in vet, like what I have right now. And then I'm going to look at another one and diversify. And then Alan knows the stuff about finance. I'm probably going to talk to Alan and say, look, I'm thinking about doing something with finance because banks are going to take a crap. And I want to know what banks are going to do. I know Merrill Lynch is already going to Bitcoin.
Hey, can I cut you off for a minute?
For sure.
The vet needs a dog, Doge. Invest, baby.
Yeah. We talked about that before, and I didn't get it the first time. And then, you're right. It's just, you're right. So, but I got to put the vet before the dog. Like, I have to, and I'm looking at my wallet right now. If we have any questions, I'm gonna pause for questions, and then I'm gonna give you my week. People were talking about their weeks in the red. We all bled. I'll tell you my week and how I almost took the rest of Friday afternoon off of my demise, and I'm coming home with my head down, and coach is like patting me on the back. We're on the phone, and he's kind of like, "It's all good, it happens," and I'm kind of like, I fouled out, like I'm just like, damn. So I'll take a pause for questions, and then I may just go grab a drink, and I'll come right back, and then I'll give you my week in the red. I think Alan, right, in PR, somebody else was talking about their week in the red, like we all was bleeding a little bit. And I think it's really important to talk about our losses and our mistakes. I think it's really important. If we had a game, I know coach would go back to the drawing board, and in IT we call it postmortem. When you go back and you figure out what broke, how can we fix it, and I'll tell you what broke on my end.
Alan?
We got chat, we got questions.
Yes. Well, Savon, you were asking me a question?
No, I was just calling your name, so because I saw you unmute like you were ready to go.
No. I just realized I was on mute, and I just unmuted just in case.
Oh, you have anything?
I have a question real quick for Hector. When you said you took a loss, did you sell and realize that loss, or are you just saying you were in the red? If you're speaking,
so
I can't
sorry,
hear
there
you.
we go. It was bad. I was in the trenches. I'm gonna go grab a quick drink, and I'll give you the recap. And again, yeah, it was bad. I recovered in other areas, but I was not just in the red. I'm in the red now, like compared to how I was last week. My account was in 11,000, going to 12,000. I buckled a little under, not under 10. So I'm in the red, but it was just certain trades that didn't go well, and I'll explain a little bit about that, about high frequency trading, about Robinhood, about the goods and the bads about Robinhood. Like I want to talk on that for people that stayed, and I appreciate everybody that stayed. This is probably for me the most valuable of this conversation, because I was in blood. Like it was a blood show. I was in the trenches, getting shot, saving Private Ryan, like the big Gatling gun. Like I was like, it was bad. So
Yeah. Hey, I just noticed this about the world, guys. Sometimes when you're making a big difference, things just happen to make you second guess yourself, make you wonder if you're doing the right thing, make you wonder if you should get out, make you wonder if you should stop. All of those things happen. And when those things are happening, chances are you need to stay. You need to stay the course. I'm telling you. It's like things are just hard. Whenever you want something great, it's just hard. I'm a guy and I want a specific girl. A lot of times it's hard. It's not easy. It just doesn't happen for you to just gain that mate that you really want, and it goes for both race, that's just the way it is. So life is difficult when you're really trying to get somewhere, so just keep that in mind, man. If it's red and you believe in it, just stick with it. You know, that's all I got to say right there. Yep, Alan,
Yes, sir.
you had mentioned, well, you asked me about big digital. What are my real thoughts? Now, I'm gonna put it back to you. What are your thoughts, after I told you about big digital, and that I'll tell you my beliefs in it and my main reason for really believing in it. What are yours?
Well, what I like about big digital when I did my research is that,
To hardly hear you.
give me 1 second.
Before Alan comes back, guys, do your research on big digital. It's in TD Ameritrade. If you don't have TD Ameritrade, go ahead and download it, or Fidelity. But I use TD Ameritrade. Majority of us who is into big digital use TD Ameritrade. So download it if you don't have it. And a lot of OTC stocks, you can find them there. You're not going to find OTC stocks in Robinhood if Robinhood is your main app that you're using. So I recommend TD Ameritrade. Because we trying to get ahead of the game and let people know about stocks that we research, so you can go ahead and do your own research, and not miss the opportunity. Alan, you're back. We don't want anyone to miss the opportunity, especially if you want to invest in your future and you're serious about it. I just think it's very important to get into something early and not treat it like Coinbase and get excited when it's being advertised that it's going to IPO. You don't really want to wait for that. It's no different than Airbnb IPO, and you already know it's going to be a hype behind it, and it's going to drive up for a moment and then it's going to drop. Because again, stocks, when they IPO, they don't normally go up. They normally go down. So that's the history I've seen with the stock market. So you gotta be careful about stocks that IPO in and getting excited about those stocks. You have to think long term. You got to get into things that you research and you have patience with. And a lot of times those are the things that's going to, help you gain wealth. For instance, the people who won with GameStop, maybe they were holding GameStop for a long time. They didn't just bought it just because it was flying up. You'll be lucky if someone gave you a signal and say, hey, GameStop's going to go up today, and you went in there and got lucky. I'll give an example. When GameStop was pumping, it was another driver, because I drive. It was another driver, that showed it to me. Hey, look at GameStop. And let's just say GameStop was $50. He showed it to me and he's like, hey, it's pumping. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, should I buy this because it's pumping? Should I take this opportunity? And to be honest with you, I could have took that opportunity right then and there and jumped into it. But there was a distraction where he was so excited about telling me how it's pumping, and I'm watching it and I'm saying, you know what, Savon, you usually use your brain. Stop him from talking right now. Go on your Robinhood and put money in right now. And by the time I didn't stop him from talking, because he was so excited about how it's pumping and wondering which direction it was going to go or if it was going to keep going. And I'm sitting there and I'm listening to him and I'm like watching this thing go up. And I'm like, oh man, this thing looks like it's going to keep going. And we're just sitting there speculating what it's going to do. And I'm like, the time that we spend just going back and forth talking about it, could have bought it. And by the time we thought like that, now extra $200, extra $200, man. So Not everybody catch those opportunities, man. Those, that's almost that's a little bit of luck. So, but if I was holding, which I held a little bit of it, foolish of me to buy a fraction of $7. That was pretty stupid, but I did. I had I was holding GameStop, but it was a fraction, because I just went into Robinhood and typed in certain things that's happening today and how I got a fraction of GameStop was the fact that I was seeing that more people on the YouTube channels were playing video games. And I'm like, wow, video games are really the thing, especially everybody being home right now. They're really playing video games. So that's how I used my noggin and bought GameStop. But here's what I did. I bought GameStop with the intention to add money in it. But I have so many stocks and I forgot to add money to them along with a lot of other stocks. So it was a little bit of being overwhelmed with so many stocks, and that you have great stocks. There's possibilities, great possibilities with all of them. And it's just tough to say, you know what, I'm gonna remember to buy it. I just didn't remember, so I can kick myself in the foot for that one, not going up with it when it went up because I just forgot to buy more. And I had a fraction of darn $7 or $5, whatever that stock was at that time. It was like, I could have bought a ton, but again, it's because I researched and realized that a lot of kids were home, a lot of adults, it wasn't even kids. I mean, we were home so much that adults started playing video games again. It's like, I mean, I didn't, but I know plenty of people who used to play as a child, play as, teenagers, who you're home and you're just bored and you start playing again and you start playing it on YouTube. I'm like, wow, these people playing games on YouTube, like they serious? They talking about GameStop, they talking about all kinds of games. And I'm like, man, listen, I need to buy GameStop. So I bought a fraction of it. It's crazy, but that's how it happened. But I say that to say some of the stocks that you probably hold, if you research them right, you may wake up one day and only thing I can say is put some money into a couple of different things. That's why they say diversify. And if you do and you stay with it and you don't be running around selling things, you'd be surprised you wake up one day and you're just on a new high. And go ahead, Alan. I don't know if you're back. You could have cut me off if you're back. Alan?
Alan's on.
Alan was gonna say something, but I'm not sure what happened. I think he went to do something. Alan, you there?
Okay. I guess I'll give my my aftermath. And to chime in when you mentioned about GameStop, I didn't snap into gear in early 2020, so everything went up. What we're on, the platform we're on now, Zoom, did extremely well. I'm a technology person, and it didn't even click. Like everybody's home, buy Zoom, right? Home Depot went up. I've been buying stuff and rebuilding and fixing, and this broke, that broke. I have a 3-family home, so I have to fix things. It didn't hit me. Buy Home Depot. It didn't hit me. So I was sleeping with all of that. But I am gonna just GameStop jumped for a very, very specific reason. I mentioned it in the last I think I mentioned it. Wall Street Bets, hashtag Wall Street Bets is a group in Facebook. And I don't think it's a paid group. And they understood that AMC and GameStop were not doing well and people were betting on the putts, as I think they refer to it, on the way down. So the people spoke and they say, you know what? As you bet on the way down, because you can bet options on the way down for anything. You can win on the way up or win on the way down. The people spoke and said, okay, we're going to drive this thing up and we're going to make money on the way up. So they hurt the hedge funds and it's nothing illegal. Robinhood did stop though, because Robin also, I'll talk a little bit more about high frequency trading. But I think they stopped mostly. They probably couldn't handle the volume. I think that's a fact. And the other thing is they have to make sure that it's not inside trading, that something didn't leak from the wrong places. But this wasn't a leak. This was just the people talking and saying, we see movement as a group collectively, hundreds of people. And I'll talk about Dogecoin because that's what happened. Dogecoin, Robinhood did get hit with high frequency trading, and they couldn't handle the volume, and it got stuck for a little bit, and I lost some money. I'll go into that in a second. So if you're interested, Wall Street Bets, one of the people that supports the group, I think, has written a book or several ebooks or something. He knows what he's doing. He's been doing it for a long time. And it's a for the people type of forum. But it is kind of a rumor thing. And again, I think Coach mentioned it. He's not into it for the short buck. I'm not into it for the short buck. A lot of what they do there is some swing and some day trading. So, buyer beware. If you're looking to subscribe to things like that, that's another business. It is lucrative. It is real. It's just, again, not for me. I like to just say what's right and what's not right for me. So I'll give the aftermath real quick. So Coinbase was out. The way that you get involved early is through seed rounds. So Nas, I work for a company that they work with startups. So when the startup happens, I can create a startup and I can come to this group right now. And how many people we got here? There's 11 people in. So let's exclude myself. And I say, Coach, I have an idea. I'm building this app. I know that we have some people here looking to invest in certain things, and this is the app. These are my white papers. This is what I'm doing, exactly how I'm doing it. I want to start a first seed round of $5,000 a person. That's going to give me $50,000, and I can build my app and do X, Y, Z. All of you agree to it. Guess what? You guys are all getting 100,000 shares of my, Google Plus Snapback Builder. I just made that app up. And that's how the first round starts. So I don't know where Nas and where Durant got involved. There's speculation that they got involved in Nas probably put in about about $500,000, and doing the math, when it went IPO and whatever the evaluations were, he was valued. Somebody did the math and they said that he probably made about 85 million. Great job, Nas. It's almost about the same amount of money that 50 Cent made with Vitamin Water. Vitamin Water, I think he made 50 million. If you don't know this, he owned parts of it through shares, and as the story goes, somebody wanted to be, I forgot the other guy's name. He wanted to be paid, and then 50 was like, they said no, they didn't have money. Vitamin Water, by the way, started in New York. And then they approached 50, and 50 was like, pay me in shares. And when it was bought to Coca-Cola, 50 made out like a bandit. So, so in this case, I make my WYSIWYG, I know I just changed the name, WYSIWYG Snapback app, and then Facebook says they want to buy it. We're all millionaires immediately. And that's how those rounds happen. And it is a real thing. Now, the problem with those rounds is, just to talk a little bit about that, you have to have real big wallets. The only way you can do it with small numbers, and I've seen spreadsheets, I've seen cap tables, is what they call it, of I'm helping somebody and I see a cap table. I can't mention names, but I see a cap table and I'm like, whoa, 25,000, 50,000, 500,000, sometimes 5,000 shares, whatever it is. I don't know how much they paid. I don't care. If I knew, I couldn't even tell you. That would be illegal. But the idea is that that's how these things happen. And it is another world. Once once, let's say, Alan makes his $250,000, now he's in a different bracket of investing. Alan becomes an angel investor or a hedge fund type of thing. He becomes a what do you call that? Venture capitalist. So that's how those things happen, and it's a real thing. These guys are making real money. So with all that said, I took a big bath on this week. Everything crapped out. When Coinbase came out, I was thinking, I know Coinbase is not the greatest thing for me to jump on right now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump on Coinbase with $3,000, ride it for 10%, make $300, grab that $300, throw it in Dogecoin, and watch Dogecoin go up. Why? Because I saw Dogecoin trending on Twitter. So Twitter should be your best friend. Everybody go to Twitter, not now. Go to Twitter and look at what's trending. Dogecoin was number 2. Number 3 when I caught it. I watched it for number 2, and I'm not going to give you the FU, Dogecoin. I'm going to watch my fingers, and then I watched you go number 1. And during that process, I tried to let go of my Coinbase because I wrote it a little bit. Actually, I didn't ride it. I'm sorry. I didn't ride it. I hit the button to go, and it didn't take the trade in because of high frequency trading. There was too much traffic for Coinbase to handle, and I didn't get my trade in right. So I bought way too high. So as it was climbing, it hit its max and then started declining. So as I tried to buy more Dogecoin, I couldn't buy enough. But when I did buy enough, and I'm going to show you, I like to take it to the videotape. I'm going to show you a screenshot of me posting, and I have the actual post that went up of me doing very well with Dogecoin. And what happened was, as they say, I tried to get out. And again, I got hit with high frequency trading, and I could not get out in time. So I ended up, I'm going to show you what I had, and I'm going to tell you what I ended up having at the end. So I'm going to do a quick share. Let me set this up right. Where are we? I like to show and tell sometimes. Oh, I don't have it. I'm going to wait for Coach. Coach is off right now. So I threw it in the group just to show. So I'll just read it out, and then we can come back to it in a little bit. So when this thing went down, I was at 40%. I was at $968.13 gained in an hour. Big ballin'. I was feeling like I was walking on the moon. I was Elon. $968 in an hour. That's doctors sometimes don't make that. And I lost it all. I couldn't get out in time. My Coinbase didn't hit. It didn't let go of the amount. I went back and tried to buy more because I got rid of Coinbase 100%. And then I bought Dogecoin too high because, again, the transaction didn't happen. My experience with Coinbase for trading for coins, it grabs right away. I lock in, almost exactly what I asked for. They can handle the volume. Robinhood cannot. And there's a really big different reason why Robinhood cannot. If you don't already know this, they scalp. And I got to find out what that middleman, thing is. I don't remember what it's called, but they are scalping. That's how they do no fees. So they are trying to sell at the highest price and buy. I don't want to misquote that. If you put in a bid and I say I want it, they're trying to sell it at the best price that they can make. So they go to other accounts and other traders, or I don't remember the term, and they buy it there. It may not be the best price for me. So their prices, if you watch their prices, they're always significantly different, not better than other platforms because they're making their little money, which in a lot of trades, it's a lot of money. So that's that. Going back to Coinbase real quick, Coach was really, really right about when IPOs are let go, that you can't jump on them right away unless you have a really big exit plan, a quick exit plan. For him, he said the $100 wasn't enough for him. I was able to recoup. I want to really show you the screenshot. I was able to recoup on my Dogecoin on another account. So I nearly broke even. I'll let you know when I break even. I plan to break even. Today is Sunday. I'm going to break even probably Wednesday. I'm expecting Bitcoin to be up by 7% from when I had it. So we'll go out of the red, back into the green. Everybody will buy, happy ending. And I will probably be, in the green, up. I'm hoping by $300. But I just want to show that I know let me hit him on the WhatsApp. I know that I took a beating and it felt horrible. It felt horrible because it almost felt like karma. It totally wasn't karma. I really felt bad because I was riding. I mean, any theme song you can think of, whatever your favorite theme song. My current theme song is, rest in peace, Black Rob. I was like, whoa, like I was in there like, whoa, stocks are doing good. Like, whoa, my 968, like, whoa. And all of a sudden I'm in the broke house, like, whoa. And it felt terrible. Really bad. So, it happens. And I can't even imagine what it is to be like, a trader that's fragments of seconds, things are down the drain and they gotta go home to their families. Like, I don't even know what I don't even want to talk about that. Because here I am with 968,
You're good
13 now. In the past hour, and then it just vanished. So that was my bloodbath Friday afternoon. I really wanted to take the end of Friday off. It was a bloodbath. I'm hoping I can get this graphic up. If not, it's all good. I just don't want you to take my word for it. I like to show and tell. We have the technology. Why not? Any questions? Anybody have questions or comments or condolences for me and my money? Obviously for Black Rob as well. Love that song. I didn't really realize how much I loved it. I lived that song. Like that was in the 90s when I was definitely whoa back then. Believe it. Yeah, I'm hoping I can show this graphic real quick. Is Ed on? Ed, can you make me host? Oh, I am host, I think. It says start a video. Hold on. Share. Oh, here I am. Hold up. Okay, so this is it right here. So that was a screenshot that I put on IG, and 9:44 a.m. Friday morning. Investments. That's Coinbase and Dogecoin. So I was at 968.13. Incredible. Feeling like whoa. And then I lost about $1,200. So I was down 3 and change. I'm gonna look at my Coinbase right now and find out how much I recovered, moving some monies to Bitcoin, because I know Bitcoin is gonna rebound. When there's doubt, there is Bitcoin to the rescue. And I'm just gonna give you an audible on this to show where I am. I'm up $58. So I think by Wednesday, and I'll give you a play-by-play when Wednesday comes around. Yeah, I'm up $58 and counting up. It's still fluctuating between 57, 58. But at the time being, I'm up 58. So I have about 230-ish to gain, and then I'm back to normal. Then I'm up. I have a little Dogecoin on another account, which I didn't touch. It was still up there. But yeah, that was my bloodbath week. Any comments? Alan, you want to cry a little? No, you holding a big Dogecoin. You want to laugh at me. It's all good. I hope my audio is working. That was a lot of yapping. Alan, can I get an audio check? Or oh, wait a second. Maybe you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, you're fine.
All
We
right,
we can
cool,
hear
cool.
you.
I got nervous because I thought my headphones are out and then people were trying to reel me in. So yeah, that was a rough week for me, but everything went down. People were taking their profits, and that's expected. It's expected that people take their winnings and run. It's expected. It just felt very odd, and I know all of you saw this, and I think Alan mentioned it. Everything was down but Dogecoin. So it was like, what's going on here? And I felt like a little Twilight Zone, right? Like the music was like, it felt like a horror flick. Like, what do you mean everybody's down? But yeah, everybody's down right now as we speak. I'm gonna go into my live what do I call it? My paper account. Live coin watch. My paper account was down $5,000. You know, my regular account was down 2. But I like to just see my numbers to be like, wait a second, I'm not crazy when I go to coins. Yeah, everybody's still in the red. Bitcoin is on his way back. Doge didn't miss a beat. It missed a beat. It went from 31 to 35 back to 33. So it's still in the green for the last 24. It's at 11% up in the last 24. Chainlink took a dump. XLM took a dump. Engine took a dump. I was looking at Turtle Coin. That took a dump. Rocks took a dump. Rocks took a big dump. So Rock took the last week, which I've been talking about it. I think it's down like 15, 30%. 15, 30%, 15, 25%. So, and that's just like my list, you know, like my favorites. Yeah, everybody's down. It's all red. Everything's red. You know, except for those couple that I mentioned. And I've been watching Nexo a little bit, but I'm not really investing in them. I just thought of them as a they give you APR over the year. They're good for staking coins if you're into that type of stuff. So if you hold their coin, they give you an APR. Not an APR, but they give you gains over the year. If you just leave money in as a coins, they pay you just to. So I don't know if anybody has any questions or comments. Alan, did you see Doge fluctuating often? Like, were you watching or were you excited? I know you said you saw that 48 and you were hype. If you're talking, I can't hear you. Oh, I just read that. I think you may have to come in and out. It happened to me when I was on the cell phone and I couldn't hear. Yeah, he is coming in and out. Here we go.
Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It was acting up. I was trying to talk.
Yeah, you're active now. You're good.
Okay, I'm sorry. What was your question?
No, just you. I know I heard you earlier when I was in transit that you kind of gave your how was your week, and I think it's a great way for us to, I guess, initiate the call. You know, we all talk, and then we could reintroduce ourselves in case we have any new people. and then just say, how was your week? And I think you mentioned that you woke up and then Dogecoin was doing well, and you're like, oh, it's at 48. So you watch that bump, and I know it's it's the golden ticket. Willy Wonka slash the Tooth Fairy dropped the $10 for this little tic tac tooth of mine. I know it's a good feeling. So I just want you to speak on that again.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. As I mentioned earlier, I took some losses, but I don't think those were bad losses, because I see the bigger picture, at least with my losses. I actually upgraded, and I didn't mention this before, I upgraded my Robinhood account, because when you surpass that $1,000 limit, they don't allow you to, they allow you to put more money, but they hold it for a few more days. And I'm seeing Dogecoin run up, and I'm like, man, I can't even put more money in.
Me too. I did the same. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Talk about those limits too, for anybody that's like that's important, because I dumped in like $3,000, which I really wasn't going to keep it there. It was an in and out, 10% desperation move, or not 10% desperation, 10% calculated move. It was just that it could not handle the volume, so I ended up eating sticks. But talk about those limits and what those different accounts can do.
Well, I don't have all the limits in front of me, but if you have a free Robinhood account, your limit is $1,000. I think it's every few days you can only add max $1,000. If I tried to add an additional 500 and they held it. So what I did was I went ahead and canceled the order to add $1,000, add the additional 5, and then I upgraded my account based on advice from my wife's cousin's husband. He said it's only $5 a month. I'm not making any recommendations, but I think it's worth it. So I upgraded my Robinhood to from the free account to the Robinhood Gold. At that point, if you had any money or order to add money on hold, they went ahead and released the money immediately. So that's what I did. I kind of made the same mistake you did with Coinbase. I got a little bit excited, and I bought Coinbase. But I bought it like the minute it IPO'd. So I bought it high. And I mentioned it to Zavon. I made that mistake. I got a little bit too excited.
Now, when you say high, did your trade go in? Did you buy it early in? Because I couldn't get in at it at all. When it went through, I was like, what you talking about, Willis? Like, this is a problem. This looks high.
Well, this is what I did. I put an alert on Coinbase. So I wanted to, I put an alert through TD Ameritrade because I have multiple accounts. So as soon as it went live, I was actually driving to the bank to go deposit a check. That's how quick I bought in, right? So I bought in within, 10 minutes of it going live, which was a very bad mistake because again, this is a transparent a meeting, a call, whatever you want to call it. I'm being honest. I bought Coinbase at 425, and I was kicking myself in the butt. Like, why did I do that?
Now listen, to add to that, I got in at 325 and 341, but I saw it skyrocket, and it buckled. Like when I was watching it, I couldn't get in right away. It gave me the error, something about this could take a while, etc. And I was like, nah, I'm not waiting for this. So I canceled it. And then I tried to get in again. And I eventually got in at, I think, 341 or I got to look at the numbers, but like 370 something, right? And then it went up a little. I was happy. Then it went up a little more and I was happy. Then it started to sink. And I was not so happy. And I couldn't get out. And again, when I transitioned it over to Dogecoin, I was good at 9:44 in the morning. Like that's my stamp right there. I'm gonna have to tattoo this on my face. Like 9969. It was at 96813. 1 hour. I was hyped. Then then I started to sink. The boat started taking in water.
So basically, you were trying to do a swing trade on it, in and out.
I was totally. It was a total swing trade. You got it. It was a 10% swing trade, and I executed the plan correctly. It was just the amount of volume that couldn't be handled by Robinhood. So let's call it what it is. You're 1,000,000% correct, Alan. I was a 10% swing trade on my end, and I nearly executed it. You know, I got fouled out.
Same here.
So
When
that's
I
a
saw
good.
how volatile it was, and
Yeah.
at that point I was down, a little bit. I just bought one share, to be honest. I just wanted to fill it out. I
Yeah.
didn't buy
I
more
had
than one
7.
share.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
you
went
have
hard.
7.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
I was.
see, if I did what you did, I'd have been down about $700. I was down about $80. I was just trying to fill it out. Then I said, you know what? I sold it. I took the loss. I said, why am I in this with one share? Let me take
Yeah.
this money and spread it out a bit amongst
Yeah.
better plays.
And that's what it took for me to do as well. I should have mentioned that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I took what I had. I took a 1,200, but it kind of averaged out to a $300 loss because that 900 wasn't mine. It was, but I didn't get it. So I went from 9 to -3. Then I stayed in the game for a little bit, and right now I'm at -230. For the week hasn't ended. I got the hiccups now. The week hasn't ended, so we're talking Friday to Friday. If I can still get my 3%, I'm okay. But that should have been a 10% positional swing trade. And for people, I just want to, give you a props for understanding the move. And I should have explained a little bit more. I should have said what I tried to do. I tried to do a 10% swing trade. And 10% swing trade, if I was able to do this on a I did it with $3,000. If I could do this with 10, that's $1,000 day. And that's not a bad day at all. I just did it with 3, and the percentages, the gains were so much higher. Let me just look at make sure we don't have anybody trying to get in. I saw a pop-up earlier. I didn't have the screen up. So if I would have done it, if I was able to execute it, it would have been a perfect 10% swing trade in and out. And I would have made 300. In that case, I would have made nearly $1,000. 40% gain, which the screenshot showed, a 40% gain. That's real baller stuff right there. And I tried. I can't say I failed. Robinhood failed me. My tactics were right. So let's just, hold on a second. I wish I had the applause. Like the tactics were right. It was just Robinhood cannot handle the trade. So that's what made me feel bad. Like I made a wrong decision. I didn't make a wrong decision. I made a great decision. I made a great play. But, the Robinhood couldn't handle it. I feel a lot better now. Thank you, Alan. I should go to therapy more often. Because I was tight, man.
It's not bad to take a loss if you go in another play. So when I took my losses, I took the remaining funds and I put them in other plays that were getting boosted by Coinbase IPO, like KNOS, big investor in Dogecoin, Big Digital, right? They're doing big things. So when I looked at my portfolio, I seen a lot of red, but Dogecoin was green, Big Digital was green, KNOS was green.
Tell me more about KNOS. What is it? How can we find? Oh, it's a stock or a coin?
No, it's a stock. This is a stock. This company is one of the, I wouldn't say biggest, but they're a big supporter of Dogecoin. They actually they're in the PPE business, and not only do they create PPE equipment,
Cronus. This is Cronus, right? Cronus Advanced Technology.
Correct, Kronos. They also have an air purification system, and they're creating a limited edition air purification system that mines Dogecoin also, which sounds weird, but it's cool. It's a cool idea. And it's also a marketing technique. And they're only creating 1,000 of the Dogecoin edition of the air purification system.
And now I put my interviewer hat. And where can we get this stock?
TD Ameritrade.
Okay.
TD. That's the only place I know where you could get it because it's an OTC stock. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Invest at your own risk. But I've been a big proponent of KNOS. I like what they're doing. Right? And they tested this air purification system against COVID. I believe it was 98% effective. So look for this.
So we're looking at two things here. We're looking at, you know, and I'm just, now I feel like a real host right now. We're looking at two things right now. We're looking at crypto technologies as well as healthcare. So now as I start looking at it more, I Googled it right away. He gave me, you know, he told me what he knew about it. And right out on the front page, without going too deep into it, I see it has a small market cap. There's not a lot of motion, so it's kind of like a little hush hush. The highs and lows look great. I mean, that's a 4x highs and lows, and it's at 9. It's at the very high. What are we looking at the year?
The YouTubers are just now starting to talk about it.
Okay. That's definitely a plus. That's gonna how it's gonna gain traction. You know, just to touch on that. And in the year, it's up 25%. Like, what else can you ask for? You know, I like it. I like that it's in two worlds. So earlier I was talking about you know, when you asked me like, why am I sour on Dogecoin? You know, this I'm not sour about. Immediately I like it because it's living in two worlds. It's in the crypto space and it's in the healthcare space. And I said earlier I needed something in healthcare. You should have been like, I got one for you. Where were you, Alan?
Well, I was having technical difficulties.
Oh, okay. I thought you were still mad at me for not accepting the dog with the vet.
No, man. Listen. I love the combo stocks that offer more than one benefit. There's another one I put. Again, I didn't do too much research on this one yet.
Yeah.
But I put it in the YouTube chat. AXIM. I'm not telling anyone to go into it because I'm not in it yet. Again, not yet. But this is a company. This is a marijuana company that's also creating a test for COVID immunology to see how immune people are to COVID. But they're also in the marijuana business. So this is another combo.
One more. What's the and this should be in the chat right here in case, you know, we once we kind of start this. Say it again.
It's already in the chat from earlier.
What am I doing here? Hold on a second. I mean,
hold on. It's on the YouTube chat. Again, I'm not in it yet. I'm stressing that everyone do their own research.
No,
I'm
for
still
sure.
researching this company, but again, they're in the works of testing some stuff against COVID, and they're also in the marijuana business. So this is a stock.
Yeah, but this is what I mentioned earlier, and I you said you were having technical difficulties. You know, aside from, and again, I mean, we shouldn't have to consistently, you know, say that we're not TAs and we're not, you know, whatever you do is for educational purposes, etc. And I appreciate that everybody goes, you know what, this is what I'm doing. You know, play at your own risk. You know, I shoot from this, I shoot with this elbow this way. And if you want to shoot that way and your accuracy increases, great. If not, don't do it. But I know what I want to get involved in. And I did mention two of them. And one was, I agree with marijuana. I think it's going to be very profitable. I think that it's still very new. You know, I'm not going to start building farms because I'm not in Colorado. Like it to me, that doesn't call any attention. But I believe that when they get digital and they start promoting or, you know, being, as I call it, being in bed with another company for specific reasons, we need to take a look. With this KNAS, I like it because it's living in two worlds. And if they are supporting the doggy world, and they're also, goddamn hiccups, they're also creating opportunities for healthcare benefits. It's really good promo. Mining is crushing the world in fumes and gases and electricity, etc. So when you can create a balance, it's definitely good for promo, good for the earth and all that wonderful stuff. But it's also great traction. And if the YouTubers are starting to talk about it and it's at 9 cents, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. You know, that's what gives you ability to 5x, 6x, 10x. So it's a talking point for me.
Definitely.
Oh, you did put it in the chat. You're not lying. You about it. I see it. I'm gonna look at that one. You said something else. What was the other one?
AXIM.
That's a stock as well.
Yes, that's a stock. Axim Biotechnologies.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely look in those because those are two on my list as far as the being transparent and being diverse. Diversifying my portfolio. I believe in healthcare, and I definitely, like I said, I believe in marijuana. I believe in stocks like XRP, XLM when you're moving money around. In VeChain, things that the entire world can use. Those are things that I like to see, and I want to put my eggs in some of those baskets.
Yeah, just real quick, Hector, what AXIM did recently, they partnered with a company called Empowered Diagnostics, and they filed for emergency use authorization with FDA for use of its rapid COVID-19 neutralizing antibody test in whole blood at point of care locations. And they're also in the marijuana business.
How are they doing in the clinical trials of any of this? Any kind of advances, or even better, if you know or you don't know, I like pushback. Like XRP. I like a little pushback sometimes because then that means you're roughing some feathers up. But in this case, we want to see how much the trials are working, how much they're studying, who they're talking to. Because like say Moderna got into the game late. But they had technologies that were important. I think it's a UK company, Indian company that got bought by the UK, and they did some interesting things. And if Axum Biotech is pushing forward with any of this COVID testing, I think we're still not. I think we are still extremely new. This is a fact in the whole COVID situation, especially worldwide. We're America. We're kind of like, all right, we're in the phase 2. We got some smoking guns out there. Let's just make sure. I'm looking at it now. It's 64 cents, 12% in the last 24 hours. And I'm looking at the market caps now. So 80 million. All right. It's definitely a new doggy dog, but that's good for me. I like new.
Well, they just finalized the results. I haven't got that deep yet.
Okay.
But the test is called ImmunoPass. Again, they just finalized it. I haven't got deep into look at the trials yet. So again, that's why I'm not in as of yet, but just wanted to put it on your radar.
No, I appreciate it. Immuno. Immunogen, immunity. It's immunity.
ImmunoPass.
Times adaptive immunity. Okay. Just seeing what articles pop up in the interweb. Yeah, I want to see what the peoples are saying. Yeah, this is all great stuff. I'm gonna definitely do some research on that, and just open it up to everyone to look at certain things, and again, we say this often, like, don't take our word for it. Like, we don't get paid doing this stuff. We're doing this on the little time that I have. I don't do sports. I used to watch UFC. I don't do that anymore. It's either photography, my day job, photography stuff, or this. And I've dedicated a lot of money to this. So I like to, I'm going to definitely check out what the YouTubers are talking about as far as Axum.
Hector, really quick, have you heard of the ticker MJNA? Medical marijuana.
NJAN, that sounds familiar. NJ, say that one more time. NJ.
MJNA.
Why does that sound familiar?
They're big in the marijuana space. They actually invested into Axum in January.
I think somebody sent me a screenshot of this guy. Marijuana stocks, Akerna, ancient. I'm gonna look that up. No,
Well,
IJNA.
I'm just referencing that company to let you know that that marijuana company also invested in Axon. So I'm just piggybacking on Axon.
Yeah, for sure. No, and that's actually MJNA. Yep, Medical Marijuana Inc. Yep,
Correct.
yep. I see the news press on it. So I'm very big on who's working with who. Like I mentioned, I think in the last call, Abraham was like, what do you have on your board, etc. I'm open to say, I called Engine. It's doing very well. It's doing phenomenal, and I missed it. And when I called it, still on my board, it says Engine / Samsung ? So that's calling me to research more. And then eventually it was Engine, Samsung, Microsoft. So when you see these big players, you gotta raise an eyebrow, and not in a, in a, who smells what the rock is cooking. Like you gotta look at it and go, something's right about this. It feels right. My spidey sense is going off. Let's get into it. So if you're looking at, now I gotta figure out Medical Marijuana Inc. What kind of player they are. They're a top 10 player. They're five, they're the 25 or top 5, final 4. Like, who are they? How aggressive are they? Because you're going to hear things from PRs. You're also going to hear things from, different websites all along. And then you have to read up. I am super, super novice in the marijuana world. I don't know anything. I don't know who the players are, but again, because New York is a new player, now there's going to be a lot of movement because people are going to try to attack this market in the retail space. And then when you track the retail space, you can go back and be like, all right, who are the suppliers? And just work your way up, reverse engineering, I guess, the supply chain. That's how I look at it. And then you can kind of go, you can see articles. And the more you see, that's how I found XRP. The more you start seeing who the players are and what the press is saying about them or what they're saying about each other in the white pages, then you can kind of, make some good judgments, some good calls. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely take a look at that. I gotta write it down because if I close this search window, everything goes. I don't know if you guys saw my last week's, I keep calling on Abraham like I'm picking on him, but he looked at the board and I do that too. So it's just like hilarious to me. But I had a million and 5 sticky notes right here on my computer. I'm back to it. So I'm putting up some sticky notes now. That's like my homework. I'm big on sticky notes. But I put some K-Nas up there, Axum up there. Then I'm gonna put. I use the sticky notes like when the feds are looking at mafiosos, and they got the capo board up, and then you're connecting dots. That's how I look at it. So I'm gonna create my capo board right now. So I got Medical Marijuana Inc. and Axum. X collaboration. Axum. Who that? Yeah, I gotta find out what's going on with that. And I love that the prices are right and it's available to get in. Because there's stocks, I'm also looking into that because I don't want to just be a one-trick pony and have everything in crypto. I want to definitely have a couple of K in stocks for sure.
Just one more for you, Hector.
Let's go. Let's get it.
OCGN.
OC. Stock again, right?
Yes, it's a stock.
Yeah. It's a What is it? Okay,
That's the last one I have for you
Corona,
tonight.
right? More on Corona, right? This is I think I see some Corona news.
This is a company that cures eye disease and
Oh, it's
blindness.
eyes. Gotcha.
However, they partnered with a company based in Pakistan that's supposed to roll out a COVID vaccine that's very effective. So the only way this company based in Pakistan called Bharat Pharmaceuticals can roll out that vaccine is to do it through a US-based company. So at one point, this stock was 64 cents and it went as high as $18.77.
That's 1 year, or
Yeah, under a year. When Savon put this one on my radar, it was 64 cents. It jumped up to
oh, I see that. Hell yeah. I see the 52-week line range.
correct. So
This is Savant's dirty work.
Yes, and this is before they roll out the vaccine. So
Gotcha.
again, put that one on your radar because they're getting ready to roll out that vaccine.
Yeah. And like I said, it's not me saying it. Sometimes I say I think, and then I have to back up, and I'm like, it's not what I think. Forget what I think. These are the facts. COVID is new. We're just establishing a little sense of normalcy in America, in a couple of states, right? Not the entire America. So the rest of the world, I have to go to Dominican Republic actually ASAP. I got my vaccine. I'm still gonna be masking up. I'm probably gonna get a better mask. I'm not doing cloth. I'm doing like real deal N95 type of filter, real stuff. Because I don't know what's going on over there. That's homeland. That's my motherland. But I'm not feeling great about it. But I have to go. My mom has property and on our real estate, family real estate realtor and lawyer. He's both. Recently passed, and they're childhood friends, and we have to go take care of property. So I just saw it today. So by the way, when I was in transit, I was at my mama house, and those were the news. Like my mama wanted to tell me face to face, like we got to go to DR, and it's not a vacation for me. I have to work from there, but I also have to help her out, and I have to be conscious of COVID. I don't want my mom getting COVID. And when these companies pop up, my eyes are glued because I know that we're not going to see normal till 2024. The world isn't going to see normal till like 2025. Like there's a lot of poverty, and not everybody's going to get this, not everybody's going to get right. So, these OCGN, let me write that down. And the catch here is, again, just kudos to Savant and you for putting this back on the radar, or just on my radar, not back on the radar, but on my radar is when you got these collabos, with these companies, that's a lot. It says a lot about what could happen. And 17 cents you didn't ride this out, right, at all? Did we lose Alan?
No, I'm still here. Yeah.
Did you ride this thing at all? Did you like jump on it?
Yeah. I did. I didn't swing this play. I stayed in. I could have cashed out or I could have sold at 18, 77 when it jumped up. I rolled it up, rolled it down. So. Okay.
Congrats. All right. Listen, we got to look at it that way, man. Like I'm hold. I'm gonna get the shirt. Maybe I'll do something with founding players. We could have like a founding players like HODL, hold on for dear life type of vibe. I'm not swinging a lot, real talk. I'm really not. I'll try to do it and make some plays, make some moves, but I like to hold. Like I'm thinking 2028, 2030.
I'm not going to swing plays that I believe in. Yeah. I'm actually in OCGN 400 plus.
Okay.
So I don't.
Damn, you got it that early?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I've been buying the dips every time it dips. When I see red, that means a clearance sell.
That's
If you
it.
believe,
That's it's on the rack. It's on the rack.
yeah. If I'm
Yeah.
down, I could be down 7K. That
Yeah.
don't. If I believe in it, I'm gonna buy it up.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
to me, that's a sell.
It's clearance, baby. I mean, it's your cost average. Like, I'm seeing that, and I'm gonna definitely do some research on it and throw some eggs in that basket. You know, I appreciate everybody on. I don't know if Savant's gonna come back on. I'm probably. This is a lot of information. We covered lots of stocks, which is we got to start getting some meeting notes on this. You know, we're gonna just copy paste. I think Ed. Oh no, I did it the last time. I sent it to the group, so we could have some white pages, not white pages, just some meeting notes on what we talked about. And if anybody, I like to make a matrix actually, just to create a little extra peer pressure, good peer pressure, and just say like who's in it, like who's researched it, who's in it. I'm not going to. I am right now. Give me a second. I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull up a Word document. I mean a Excel, and let's just go back so I don't miss anything. And I just want to make a quick matrix on like if that's value to anybody, say oohs and ahs. That you could see who's involved, and you know, just to show I told you so. I think it's a good, you know, I think it's good. Get your kudos. We don't have to say for how much, but just say that you're involved in it. I'm gonna make a actually I'm opening up and I'm gonna make an Excel spreadsheet with a matrix on what we're talking about and who's got some. And maybe if there's any interest, you know, just so we see who's talking about it, just so we don't you keep them on the radar, you know, people can go into the file and look at it. I think that'd be cool. I'm just going off the hip. And I'll put the disclaimer in there. Enter at your own risk. Somebody put in this Cash App charges. I don't know if anybody has any more comments, questions. I gained a lot of this. Actually, I feel really good, Alan. Thank you for bringing to my attention the idea of the plays that were done, because I felt horrible Friday. I was disgusted. I had to take a cold bath. I was sick of myself. But
You know, Hector, I'm not going to keep you long, but you know what brings me calm when I see these plays going red? You got to think Tesla got beat up, right?
Yeah.
When Tesla first came out, if you do a 5-year or 10-year or whatever on Tesla, you'll see what their stock was at. But then it jumped up, you know? It's just a market correction, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's definitely, it's a correction, and that's the right term. I call it, you know, I'm a grab it and run. And that should be accepted. I told my son, he asked me, hey, XRP's down 20%, whatever. I said, well, listen, watch the roller coaster go up and down a little bit. I'm into it for the long run. I'm not trying to get out right now. So my son's 15. He's thinking about, he'll be graduating high school in 2 years. He's thinking of what kind of money is he going to have. He's got 1,200 in crypto right now. He's thinking what kind of money is he going to have in 2 years. So cool. He's in for the long run. So right now, grab up Dogecoin, grab up, you know, VET, grab up what you can. Grab, you know, it's up to him. You know, I can advise him, but it's his money. He's sending me money, and we're making moves. But I say whatever moves you decide to do, they're based on research. So, you know, let's talk about some research. But yeah, absolutely. Red is market correction or a sale. It's it's on the rack, baby. It's on the rack. I'm looking at what's the first one we spoke about earlier? No, I think that might have been in the group. It was yeah, K-Nas, I'm putting that in. And I can make corrections in the spreadsheet, or I'll leave it available for everybody to go in there and write up whatever. And then, we can have a dialogue within the matrix, within the spreadsheet. I'm for that. Let me look at this. So anybody has any more repeat stock? What is this? Oh, last stock was Axum. So it's a Axum, Kanaz. I don't know what we got so far. I believe these are the two, and then the marijuana one was, the eye situation.
How do you spell Axum again?
It's I put it in the Zoom chat. I'll put it in the other chat as well. I'm gonna copy paste it. So it's AXIM is the IM. I have it up right now. It looks good. Like I'm looking at it. I definitely want to diversify a little bit, and just so you guys know, like when I think of it, I'm trying to think of like net worth wise. Like if this thing does it if it does a damn thing in 5 years and it goes 5x, 10x, what am I investing in and what's my payout? I'm thinking about my exit strategy. Like that's how I look at these things. So I like to, like, again, I mentioned earlier, Bitcoin is not for me for the long term, because even if it 5x's, I get 20x on Axum. I can 40x on OCGN maybe. I can, like, the availability to go beyond 300. I don't think it's realistic for Bitcoin. I think by the time it goes that high, it's gonna crash.
Gotcha.
And I can't risk 5x when I can get 20x on something else. I've already seen nearly 20x on VET. So I've only seen 6x on Bitcoin. That's $8,000 to 61 grand. That's in my lifetime of carrying. Sure, I've seen it before. I could have mined it, and I said no to mining it. I didn't think. Somebody didn't buy me a brain. I was a scarecrow with no brain or no heart or whatever the hell it was. I was stupid. I was just a stupid. But so good. But yeah, that's how I look at these things. So when we have these conversations, that's my general mindset is how many X's am I able to get out of it? Like, OCGN was the other one. Somebody, I think, replied in the chat. Yeah, OCGN looks good, I think, because of what it. Did I close out the chat? Darn it. Yeah, I hope I put that in there correctly. Yeah, that's how I look at it. Like Bitcoin is, for me, Bitcoin and Ethereum, for me personally, more Bitcoin is short term. Knowing that I know I'm going to get my 5x. I mean, my 5%, my 3%. I could ride it up all day. And I know that it'll come back. It'll spring back. That's what I can do on Bitcoin. That if I put 10 grand in Bitcoin just to swing, I know that I can play that 3%, 3%, 4%, 1%, 2%. It's just going to yo-yo up and down, and it's going to spring back. But for me to ride that thing to 300K, I'm not doing that. It's too late in the game for me. No for me. No soup for me. So that's that I put it in the chat. If there are any others that we missed that anybody's like, hey, I want to research that, please reach out. And I think it's yeah, we on this, and the people that are on, I appreciate everybody that stayed on for. It's totally valuable, and it's like a therapy session to me. Alan, I really appreciate it. Are you from New York?
Sorry, I just want to say thanks to you guys. I'm brand new to this. I barely understand what you guys are saying. I met Savan a couple weeks ago. He told me about the whole founding players thing. And I'm gonna be here. I'm not gonna ask too many questions yet, but I'm gonna start doing research, do my due diligence, and hopefully be able to contribute something to this.
Definitely,
Well,
definitely.
for sure. Matthew, please don't feel like I believe in shortcuts. Not like life coach shortcuts, but like if there's information, like I mentioned it earlier, and I'm glad that Alan brought this up because I think he was having technical difficulties. I wouldn't have been able to. I was in transit, so I specifically said healthcare, marijuana. He gave me both of my wish lists.
Sure.
So these are two that I'm going to look at, and because of the prices and because of what they've done in the year, they're exciting to me. But if there's terminology that we can recap a lot. I'm not going to say, hey, watch episode 15. I'm not talking about that. I don't think we're here for that. Sure, definitely watch. Let's get the founding player hours are very important to the organization. It's very important to what we're doing. It's very important for new people to come in at any level and adopt some of this. I wish I would have had this a year ago. I'm lying. I wish I would have had this 20 years ago, right? But I didn't. So I didn't have somebody just tap me on the shoulder and go, my guy, Bitcoin, my guy, and I didn't do it. And I'm a tech guy, so I'm bitter about it. But at the same time, the only way you can really, really contribute, if we go back, like Coach said earlier, hey, let's talk a little bit about blockchain. Like, what is that? So I'll explain it, and then maybe you get it on the first try. It's kind of like math class, right? Some crazy complex, binomial whateverness. And you don't get it the first time around, and you hear it again, you get it again, and you kind of like, I'm not quite sure. Can you say that one more time? And then we explain it again, or I may explain it. Somebody else may chime in and be like, oh, it's kind of like this. And then we all go, oh, like wallets, right? It sounds complicated, but it really is just a physical wallet. I use Garda Wallet or I use Coinbase. Coinbase works as a wallet. Garda Wallet works as a wallet and an exchange mechanism. So you can literally put money into a machine, say, I want American or I want Canadian, and then it comes out in that denomination or in that exchange. And that's what these things are. It's just that. But an idea of wallet, you're kind of like, what? What do you mean? But that's really the terms. And they're using the same money terms, the same currency terms. And honestly, what we're doing is not to go too crazy into this, what we're doing is we're doing what Forex people do, just with crypto. We're just not swinging. We're not going back and forth, day trading, buying low, selling high. We're not doing that, or at least I'm not. I'm just holding based on the technologies. And I would like to swing a little bit. I need to accumulate an amount of money. $5,000 is a good swing amount because then if I do one or two good trades, I can get $150 a trade. Let's say $150 a trade. And I can respect myself in the morning if I can do that 3 times a week. If I can make 150 3 times a week on crypto, I'm a god in certain countries. I'm big dog. So that's my goal. Yeah, thank you. Somebody just put it in the chat. I use Garda Wallet, again, only because I'm in New York. If you were in other cities, you could use other things. You could use crypto.com as a good one.
Sorry, Hector.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to say this because I know how you feel about certain cryptos. Really look into big digital. All right.
Big digital.
The reason I mention it is because based on my research, I know Savon didn't get a chance to talk about that part, but basically they have a technology that banks are looking for, right? They're going to create regulation in the crypto market. That's why you have a lot of people or companies rather not accepting crypto, right? Because it's not regulated. They don't feel like it's safe. That's where companies like Big Digital comes in. So not only are they a trading platform, they also have technology which they can, lease or whatever, or, lease out to other companies like banks to use, right? Where they now can trace crypto and they can make sure that the crypto is not coming from illicit activity, right? Just like the IRS audits your account, IRS contacts the bank to shut down your account if they need to levy your money, right? We all
For
hope
sure,
that doesn't,
yep.
we all hope that doesn't happen. So big digital, that their security side, that's what they're doing, right?
Right.
So now banks will feel more safe. So remember, ARK Invest, Kathy Wood, she quoted as saying crypto or Bitcoin can go as high as 400,000. You know, and again, a bunch of companies, banks, and financial institutions. The only reason they're not accepting it, one, because they don't want to get with the times, and two, they don't feel like it's safe. So, what is the catalyst to bridge that gap? It's companies who's going to specialize in the safety, in the security of cryptocurrency, and big digital is doing that.
I definitely, I've heard the name a few times. I know Coach was talking about it. I didn't shrug it off at all. I didn't know enough about it to say yes or no. I totally believe, because of what went down with what is going down with Dogecoin, and Dogecoin has the ability to crush planets right now, meaning everybody goes to the hype and they get on it and then they get off it, right? So it's gonna look not too nice. So there's gonna be, the next phase of all of this is gonna be regulation, a regulatory environment where XRP wants that as well. The problem with XRP is it's centralized. They're not a compliancy platform like Big Digital, as I'm understanding it, and that's a next play. So that's a real chess play right now. So again, big up to Coach and as well for you for putting it on the platform. That is the next play for all of this, and you're saying it. It's this. The future of this is the safety and compliance,
and regulation
of what we're doing. So XRP wants compliance. They're trying to regulate, but because it's centralized, it's a little bit of a monarch, right? And that upsets certain people. They're also looked at as it's the same pants, two pockets. So again, it's a little bit not so much. But looking at Big Digital now, from what you're saying, I'll definitely do the research. That regulation, compliancy, and security.
That's the key. That's the key. They actually have, law enforcement. Again, the CEO didn't name who's using their technology because of privacy and all that stuff. And they're based in Canada, by the way. So their ticker price is them being based in Canada. So when they roll out in the US, which they're trying to do now, it's going to explode.
How are we on it now? If I want it in, where are you getting it?
I do it. I do 90% of my trades through TD Ameritrade.
So Ameritrade has this as a coin? This is a coin.
No, this isn't a coin. This is a stock. But what I'm naming to you right now is a company that's a catalyst for coins, right?
Yeah.
So this is not a coin. This is actual a ticker. But this company has a lot to do with Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. So
Understood.
Again, I'm just putting this. I'm emphasizing and placing this one on your radar. I know Savon has already.
Yeah, he
done
did. He for sure. And I want to say I wasn't a believer. I didn't do my research, but I do believe that the next level of this game is for sure security and compliancy. Regulatory, that's up for discussion on, because everybody has their own regulations. So it's really hard to link Canada's beliefs with UK's beliefs and all of that, but they still want security and compliancy. XRP has compliance. Regulatory, no. And what was the other one? Regulation. Because of compliancy, they're high on both of those, but they're not secure. So I like it. I'm gonna look that guy up. Big Digital Asset Inc. Is that it?
Yes.
BBKCF?
Correct.
Let's go. Okay. It's $3. That's less than a Popeye's chicken sandwich. It's $3.19. A Popeye's chicken sandwich is $3.25. Is what it gets the 2 burger salute right now.
Hey, I hope a lot of people listening out there on the YouTube, because you know what, we on for a while, but at the end of the day, I hope people paying attention. You know, you don't want to leave the party too early.
I say, Coach, there was a lot of information. I was put on. There was a full therapy session. You know how I felt on Friday. I made the right moves. It was just the platform choked. And then we're talking about these big. I want to create. I don't know if you heard this part. I want to create a matrix and put all of these suggestions up, and who suggested them, and when we talked about it. Not what you have, but at least that it's been spoken about, just so we can track it. And then, we can go back and then say, yeah, we talked about that. Go back, do your research, so it's not just, it doesn't slip away. Because big digital, I know you've been preaching it to the choir. I believe in the platform. I understand what it is. I didn't do the research, but we're talking about compliance, regulation, and security. Those are big words in the crypto. That's the next. That's a chess move right now. So I'm feeling it.
Yep, definitely. Well, that's what we have each other for. That's what Alan is good at. That's what I'm good at. As a matter of fact, I feel like I can research something and I can mention it to Alan, and Alan can go and dig deep.
Yeah. Verify it for sure. Like you need somebody to, poke on somebody's coattails and say, what do you think of this? And then somebody goes in and tears it apart and says, I don't, this is not for me. In this case, I like regulatory. I definitely like compliance. And I do like that there's going to be a crypto police. I'm with that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm here. I'm just like back and forth. I'm trying to take care of some stuff because I got handle some business.
I think we're closing up shop. I think we've got Matthew chimed in at the earlier, and he gives his approval of what we're doing. I mentioned that we definitely got to get something not something out of it, but if more people, even Alan and I are both, we both understand this. We're both heavily invested. We both get how to look at research and how to do stuff. He's gonna bring up things, and I'm gonna bring that back and forth creates a lot of dialogue, and I think it creates a real healthy environment for growth and for learning. And like I said,
Hector, earlier you asked where I was located. I'm not in New York. I'm in South Florida.
Damn, you too.
Yeah, man. We're
in the land of opportunity, the land of I could do whatever the hell I want, Florida.
We're in the land of the free, man.
The land. Well, my uncle's down there, so we got to do this. When things open up a little more, we're gonna go have some lunch. He's in Miami,
South Florida,
not Miami, but he's in he's 20 minutes from Miami. He's in Pembroke, I think.
Yeah. South Florida is open, man. We're open down here.
Yeah, you're open, but I'll be masked up. I'll be looking like a hooligan. Yeah, we're not friendly up here. We're not doing the right thing. So I hope you guys stay healthy.
People are way open up here, man.
They just don't care.
Down here rather. Down here.
I'll be out there like this, like hitting them with the alcohol. Yeah,
you saw Miami Beach on national news, right? Spring break, people got crazy.
Oh yeah, but the thing is, they're not from there. So where do you think they're coming?
A lot of they know we're open, so a lot of out of towners.
Yeah, they're gonna go out of there and then get all invested and infected, and then bring it to me.
There you go.
I'm gonna tape this to my forehead, maybe get a snap hat with a little sleeve on there and put it in there like that, little sleeve that says, I'm validated, vaccinated and validated. But guys, I'm gonna, I don't know if you guys are staying on. I'm definitely ready to close shop. I have a few things to do before I'm getting ready for tomorrow. I'm actually going into the office tomorrow. Speaking of vaccination and all that good stuff, I'm going into the office. We've moved my day job, and I'm kind of excited. We don't have any hardware, but I'm excited to go into Manhattan, downtown Manhattan, and see what's going on. And so I got a little bit of a commute tomorrow, going in.
Definitely appreciate the information.
Yeah, God bless you on that.
We still got I moved my screens around. This is awesome. We still got a lot of people in here. Right? That's incredible. I definitely appreciate everybody. I don't know if I can hit the off button, coach. So I'm gonna let you drive that. We got 12 people in the building. That's super dope. Please, guys, it's a week's time, but reach out with questions, write them down. The idea here, I guess, it's really not to just find a needle in a haystack, but it's to just like take action. So, take action. This is just guides. Yeah, some people put some information already in there. How to research your investments. That's really awesome. I think Ed said the next session explain how people to research. Yeah, I can give you some advice. Alan has done a lot of research so far. He's really good connecting dots and finding those relationships between companies. That's super important. I just like looking at overview of 2 or 3 numbers that just give me some interest, and then I go dig, and then I go back to see more numbers. But I'm new at that as well. Stay away from the scammers, just to touch up on that. If you have any interesting scammers, hit me on IG. Hit me. Let me get at them. If I got extra time, I love to do it. I love to let them spin their wheels. I love to make them feel low. Sometimes I get people that are of African descent. Some of them are Muslim. I've got people that are like Indian descent or Pakistani or like, of that Middle Eastern, and they're also Muslim. So I like to throw Muslim words around, like, or, Arabic words. I like to say like haram, like you're being sinful. I like to tell them, to their face that they're criminals. It makes me feel good. I sleep so good at night when I tell bad people that they're bad. So anyway, that's just me. I told you I play in the paint. I'm just filthy. Coach, if you want me to play, you know what? I'm in the paint. I'll foul out. I'll push people. That's just me. But I think it was a good time. Matthew, I appreciate you listening, but please engage, ask questions, go crazy. Tell me you
Yeah, man.
got some cure for something, and then let's
Hey,
get it.
Hector, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. Yeah. Remember, I'm saying I'm like super new to this, so I'm not really familiar with everything that's going on. There's like a whole buzz going on with this whole cryptocurrency stock market stuff. So I remember back in the day in my economics class when we learned a little bit about stocks, and I was like, okay, let me look into this more. And there's a lot of research that I have to do. And at the same time, there's a ton of information that came at me just coming into this meeting. So I'm like, dang. And one of my brothers is actually in the market, and we talk like here and there, but I passed founding players on to him and another brother. And yeah, man, I'll do my best and try to be consistent, as Savon added earlier.
Yeah, man. This is a lot of info. Like I look at my board and I'm like, I gotta brush up on certain things. I'm brushing up on NFT opportunities. I think NFTs are gonna. I think it's gonna be a little bit of a bubble, but I have to learn more. I know how to create. Actually, somebody asked me to create an NFT for them recently. Actually, we were talking, and I said I'm willing to do it. We're gonna go on contract, or I'm gonna manage it. If this thing does something, we can make some money off of it. If I'm gonna make the NFT, I'll be the owner. I'm sorry, you be the owner. I'll be the creator. So then there is some money. I have to learn more about NFTs. So the last meeting we Ed asked to just give a quick overview, and so there's tons of learning to be done. I've just taken action as of late. I actually led. Listen to this craziness. I led for like, I don't know, I think 3 weeks out of the year in my 7th grade computer programming class. We did stocks, and I
What?
led like for like 3 months. I had Coca-Cola and I think Informex, I think was the name. And I was just knocking it out. And I thought I knew stuff. And after that, my friend actually, my upstairs neighbor was on a news day. He won the tournament for New York. It was a stock tournament back in the days. I'm sure they still do it. So
True.
we've all heard of this stuff. We just never took action. We never took action. I wish I would have taken action on Bitcoin. I could have been mining. I could have been probably recycled and maybe gone to South Florida and met Coach Savant, and I would have probably been like, "Hey, Coach, I got $1 billion for you. Throw it in, found players." It's just crazy. Like I could have been mining the damn thing. So it's never too late. It's all good. Let's get it. Let's go. But I definitely appreciate everybody that jumped on. I'm definitely got to close up shop.
All right, man. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Ed. Thank you for staying on. I should have thanked a few people before they dropped off. Matthew, Abraham, Coach. Always a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so you got to end it, Alan, because you have the control. Not Alan. I mean, Hector, you got to end it.
Yeah, so I stopped the live stream on this.